and the Lakers walked the walk in Game 1. A convincing 25-point win that had the Magic seeing stars. Tonight, the focus of the sports world is once again on the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles, the place to be in a city that bleeds purple and gold these days. Game 1 was full of kryptonite for Superman Dwight Howard. Will he and his teammates rediscover their magic before heading home? Or will Kobe Bryant drop another 40 and propel the Lakers halfway to a title? Game 2 is coming up next.
In the NBA playoffs, the pressure is intense. But there is nothing that compares to the NBA Finals. As the curtain rose, Kobe Bryant's brilliance was on full display. His devastating repertoire was simply overwhelming.
When I'm on the court, I feel free. When you get in that zone, it's just a supreme confidence that you know what's going on.
Now, the most resilient team in these playoffs must regroup. Can Orlando overcome adversity again? Magic, Lakers, Game 2 of the NBA Finals is next.
Live from the NBA Finals in Los Angeles, California, welcome to GMC NBA Countdown.
What's good? We are not too far away from the 14 Laker championship banners that hang in these rafters, and the last of those banners raised 7 years ago. Welcome to GMC NBA Countdown. Stuart Scott alongside Mike Wilbon, John Barry, and Hall of Famer, and the man responsible for 5 of those banners, Magic Johnson. Magic, for the first time in his career, Kobe scored 40 points in an NBA Finals game. When was the last time you saw him this focused, this prepared?
Well, Stuart, I've never seen Kobe this focused, as well as his teammates. We have to remember, it's only 2 Lakers, Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher, who have won a championship. So the rest of the guys, Stuart, are very focused as well.
You know, people need to sort of chill out. I mean, this is not professional football or NCAA madness, March Madness, Stuart. The Lakers had a big victory, but just 3 years ago, 2006 NBA Finals, and Miami Heat were down 0-2 to the Dallas Mavericks.
Right.
Everybody had them dead and gone, right? Well, the series shifted to Miami. 4 straight games later, all of a sudden people are going, what happened? This series is a long way to play out. People need to just calm down just a little bit.
This is the Magic's MO. It's a jump shooting team. What did we talk about before Game 1? It was their style. And when you shoot 30%, you look like a team that doesn't belong. But that was Game 1. Put it past you. Tonight, I guarantee the Orlando Magic have a great effort.
About a half hour ago, Dwight Howard told me, I guarantee you we will not shoot as badly in Game 2 as we did in Game 1. How important is Game 2? 27 of 30 teams in NBA Finals history that have gone up 2-0 have won the championship, but do not count out the Orlando Magic. They're a very resilient team. 7 of their playoff losses were by buzzer beaters, and they still made it to the NBA Finals. But how did the Lakers take the sting out of Orlando in Game 1? Here's an all-access look.
It's the Lakers and the Magic ready to battle for an NBA championship.
I told him he needed to get me one of these. Come on, man. Got my eyes on you too, Kobe. Got my eyes on you now.
In the game for the first time for the Magic.
The All-Star is back, hasn't played since February 2nd.
And spins left elbow, spins again. Here's the shot. Good. Oh, that is unstoppable. It is a clinic from a very focused Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant in control of this game.
The Lakers throwing the first punch in this 09 championship series.
We've been in this all together all year, and we've come back from adversity all year.
I just want it so bad, that's all. I just want it really bad. So, it's just, you just put everything you have into the game, and your emotions kind of flow out of you.
How special was Kobe's Game 1 performance? He's only the 4th player in NBA history to put up 40 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists in a finals game. Shaquille O'Neal did it back in Game 2 of the 2002 finals against the Nets. Guys, Shaq was named finals MVP that year. Michael Jordan, 1993's Game 2 against the Suns, he did it. Jordan named NBA Finals MVP that year. Lakers' Jerry West, the first to do it. Jerry West, Game 7 of the 1969 finals, and yeah, MVP of the finals, even though LA lost the series. So as Kobe gets set for Game 2, he is not ready to let his foot off the accelerator. Magic in the 1985 finals, you guys lost by 34 points in Game 1 to the Celtics. You had 2 days to think about it. You came back and you won the series. It's a similar situation here. Magic got blown out in Game 1. They've had 2 days to think about it. What did you all do to get ready back then?
Well, Stuart, all you have to do is remind yourself what got you here. Orlando has to always remember their good defense, their outside shooting, and a lot of Dwight Howard inside. What we did was we went back to our game, running up and down the court, playing solid team defense, and if Orlando does that tonight, they'll give themselves a chance to win.
It'd be great if they could bring Magic in to rally the troops. Magic Johnson.
Wait, hey, but his shorts would have to be longer.
It has to be longer for him to be allowed in the locker room. But that's not going to happen. It's all on Dwight Howard. The stage is set for this guy to pull this team up. He says he's a dominant player. You want to be Hakeem Olajuwon. You want to be David Robinson. You want to be Shaq. You come out here tonight and you prove it. You had 1 field goal in the first game. You come out and dominate tonight. You be the guy that makes it happen. Forget this jump shooting. Bring the ball into me. I will carry us to a Game 2 victory.
JB, he could use some help, though. I mean, Jameer Nelson, after missing 40 regular season games, is back at point guard, but he played too many minutes in Game 1. The Magic players say that. Stan Van Gundy says that. So he can't split the minutes with Rafer Alston. He's got to play fewer minutes. Look for him to play in like 6-minute increments tonight. The Orlando players were saying in the locker room previously. I asked Dwight Howard if he was angry about what he's been hearing here in Los Angeles the last 48 hours, and he said, yes, absolutely. I said, Dwight, who are you angry with? And he said, Stan Van Gundy and John Barry. Stan Van, because he can make you angry as soon as he turns on the video and starts getting on you about how badly you played. JB, because you, Will Bond, and JP picked Lakers in 4. I said, no, that was JB only, not me. Continue to be angry at JB.
Thank you.
But they have that magic. You know how that works. They have gone us against the world right now, and they are angry at what happened in Game 1 and the reaction to it.
Magic, real quickly, how did Jameer Nelson affect the Magic's chemistry? Quickly.
Well, what happened was Jameer came in, and Rashard Lewis, who was used to dominating the second quarter, didn't get the shots he got in Cleveland series. So Jameer must be very careful. If he plays, don't forget to get the shots to Rashard Lewis, get Hito involved, because he can't try to get himself involved.
Hey, I tell you what, after losing Game 1, it's not tough to beat a Phil Jackson coach team. It's practically impossible. Jackson's teams are 43-0 all time when they win Game 1 of a playoff series, but these Orlando Magic teams, they may be different. For the first time ever this postseason, the Magic came back from 3-2 against the Celtics. Nobody had ever done that before against the Boston Celtics. Kobe Bryant 22-0 when his teams win Game 1 of a postseason. Will that trend hold up in this, his 6th NBA Finals? We are getting you set for the tip of Game 2 as GMC NBA Countdown continues live from the Staples Center in downtown LA.
I'm Tim Legler, and coming up, I'm going to show you why the most important thing the Magic do defensively involves stopping Kobe Bryant.
Hey, how rough was it in Game 1 for Orlando? Their 23 field goals, tied for the second fewest in NBA Finals history. We haven't seen a lower field goal percentage in a Finals game in 6 years. And it was the lowest field goal percentage in a Game 1 of the NBA Finals since Harry Truman was in the White House, which I think was John Barry's second year in the league. Lamar Odom is the Lakers' candy man, the sugar source for the entire team. Lamar has a sweet tooth that is a dentist's dream. After a Game 1 double-double in points and rebounds, here's Lamar with Doris Burke in tonight's Courtside Report.
One of the major storylines coming out of Game 1, obviously, was your front court's ability to have an impact on Dwight Howard's effectiveness. What adjustments are you anticipating from Dwight and the Magic to get him more established?
Well, I expect him to be a lot more patient. He was the first game, as well as aggressive. I expect him to attack the offensive boards a little bit more as well.
You, over the course of 3 very convincing wins for the Lakers, have had a highly productive outing. What's been the common denominator for you in those 3 games?
Health. My back feels a lot better, comfortable, a lot more mobile, and just focus as well.
Coach says you very often are the key, Lamar. Why, when you're at that level, is this team so drastically different?
Just adds to our depth. Another playmaker, another passer, another shot maker.
Lamar, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Tonight's Courtside Report is brought to you by the new action comedy G-Force, in theaters July 24th.
Doris Lamar, thanks. Hey, Kobe Bryant became the 4th Laker, joining Shaquille O'Neal, Jerry West, and George Mikan as the only players to score 40 in Game 1 of the Finals. With more on how Kobe was able to dominate, here's our colleague Tim Legler in the virtual world.
I'm Tim Legler, taking you inside the EA Sports virtual playbook. And we're talking about the defensive adjustments the Orlando Magic big men, particularly Dwight Howard, need to make when defending Kobe Bryant involved in pick and roll. Hey, it's tough enough for Howard to deal with a guy like Andrew Bynum, a 7-footer in the post, one-on-one. But he also has to provide support for his teammates when Kobe Bryant is running pick and roll. As Bynum heads up to set this screen for Kobe when he's got the basketball, where you'd like to see the Magic big men is here, up high above the screen, ready to make Kobe play in a crowd and force him to veer out beyond the three-point line. Instead, what was happening in Game 1, Orlando Magic big guys were here, back in the lane. Dwight Howard trying to prevent Kobe from turning the corner and getting to the rim. The problem with that, Kobe wants to get to that 15 to 18-foot area because he is the best mid-range game player this league has ever seen. From here, it's virtually impossible to get an honest contest on Kobe Bryant. He goes for 40 in Game 1. The Magic take the ball out of the net a lot on their end of the floor. And if they don't make an adjustment for Game 2, Kobe Bryant will have his way once again.
Hey, Legler, you know what else they've been talking about Kobe? His Game 1 scowl. Yeah, that got us to thinking about some of the more famous expressions in basketball. All right, guys, this is Kobe. And lately in Game 1, look at that. What's up with that? Kevin Garnett didn't really have a scowl. It was more like a, Wilbon, a yell?
That was similar, though. But, you know, it reminds me of a football expression like Mike Singletary.
Well,
something that looked like, I'm scared of him.
Well, they didn't win it all last year. And, of course, what was it about Jordan, Magic?
The tongue, and the tongue.
And, okay, so we got a snarl, we got a yell with Garnett, we got the tongue with Jordan, and with Magic Johnson, do we ever see you snarl? Look at that, you're all smiles all the time.
Why, he won everything he played in.
No frowns, why should he ever frown? Championship after championship.
All right, guys, what's your favorite expression, sports expression? Real quick.
Oh, Singletary in the eyes. I can't go basketball, football, intensity. Right. Kobe's got that. Kobe's got that working, right?
Go with the Magic smile. Come on.
I got to go with Jordan and the tongue.
I'm going to go with Pau Gasol. And all right, maybe not. But Pau Gasol will be a key player for the Lakers tonight. Will it be all smiles? He'll give you the keys to stopping the Magic tonight. Game 2, just minutes away. Hey, Pau Gasol, what are the GMC keys to stopping that man, Dwight Howard, again in Game 2?
Don't allow him to get deep positions in the lane on all the pick and rolls, all the fast breaks, all the duck-ins. You really have to put a body on him and move your feet around him. Don't always allow him to get contact or create contact with you because then, obviously he's not an advantage there. So we did a good work. I think Andrew kept him in front of him. Very good for the most part of the game. Worked around him pretty well and got him off balance a couple times. So, continue to work. It's a lot of work.
All right, are we going to Orlando tied at 1-up, or do the Lakers go up 2-0, guys?
I think the Lakers win in a close game.
Because I believe in Dwight Howard, it's 1-1. The Magic win tonight, Wilby.
Dwight Howard, 30 points, 20 rebounds. Orlando evens the series.
American Idol winner Chris Allen sings the national anthem coming up next. We'll see you at halftime.
And now, let's meet the starting lineup for the Eastern Conference champions, the Orlando Magic. At one guard, number 11, 6'5", a rookie from Western Kentucky University, Courtney Lee. The other guard, number 1, 6'2", 10th campaign out of Fresno State, Raber Alston. At one forward, number 15, 6'10", 9th season from Turkey, Edu Turgulu. The other forward, number 9, 6'10", 11th season out of Elite Elsik High School, Richard Lewis. And at center, number 12, 6'11", his 5th campaign from Southwest Atlanta Christian Academy, Dwight Howard. The head coach in his 5th year, Stan Van Gundy. To greet the home team, the franchise with 14 NBA titles, the most wins in NBA history, the Western Conference champions, your Los Angeles Lakers. And one forward, number 3, 6'8", 5th year of UCLA, Trevor Ariza. The other forward is number 16, 7 feet, 8th campaign from Spain, Pau Gasol. Starting at center, number 17, 7 feet, 4th year from St. Joseph's High School, Andrew Bynum. At one guard, number 2, 6'1", 13th campaign out of Arkansas Little Rock, Derek Fisher. And the other guard is number 24, 6'6", 13th year from Lower Merion High School, Kobe Bryant. The head coach in his 18th year, Hall of Famer Phil Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, Game 2 starts now.
And so it continues. You've lived your life for this one moment. A chance to march into the pantheon of greatness, where a legacy of champions awaits.
Unbelievable! West throws it up over half court. Backs it back. Yeah! So many moves, so much power. Get ready for basketball battle, the NBA champion. An almost unthinkable storyline has unfolded in this NBA Finals.
And I'm guaranteeing everybody here, next year we're going to win it again.
Tonight, the real season begins.
Underestimate the heart of a champion.
It's 89-84. Sixers, and they get inside. I want to tell you something. Somebody up there is on our side. Collins on the floor. What a play by James Collins. Oh, my.
Welcome to the NBA
The Staples Center packed once again, and the Laker fans hoping Kobe Bryant will be brilliant as he was in Game 1. The Laker defense was superb as the NBA Finals opened up with a lopsided win. Meanwhile, Dwight Howard needs to return to dominant form as this gritty Orlando Magic team will look once again and try and bounce back after a difficult loss as we get set for Game 2 of the 2009 NBA Finals. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Game 2 along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. Mike Breen on hand. Doris Burke will join us shortly. Hard to have the Lakers play any better than they did in Game 1. And Mark, that's 2 straight games in the clincher against the Nuggets. They win by 27. They win in Game 1 by 25. Kobe Bryant, he really was the definition of leading his team to victory in that first game.
Well, no question about it, Mike. Kobe Bryant was as focused as I've ever seen him in his entire career. You talk about a guy with one mindset. That's the win. Seek and destroy. Certainly in Game 1, he took care of business. Recognized that they were guarding him one-on-one, was in attack mode time and time again. Did not matter who was defending him. Made plays on the offensive end, showed why he's the best in the world. You dare him to shoot jump shot, did not settle. Kept his foot on the pedal all night long. Isolation, fundamentally sound, made plays, and then 8 minutes to go in the game, up 26, didn't stop there. Continued to lead his team, ultimately for the big prize.
When he plays like that, so scary for the opponent. Meanwhile, the opponent, the Orlando Magic, some real scary numbers in Game 1. 29% shooting, out-rebounded by 14. Points in the paint by the Lakers, 56. Where do you start if you're the Magic?
Well, Pat Riley once said, no rebounds, no rings. It starts with aggression on the boards. The longer Lakers just beat up the Orlando Magic on the boards. Secondly, they've got to make Kobe Bryant feel them. They've got to show him the ultimate respect by showing him no respect at all and being the aggressor. And finally, Dwight Howard has to lead a front court that is more dominant. Dwight Howard can physically punish Gasol and Bynum. He needs to do that at both ends of the floor.
It was the Magic's worst performance of their playoffs, but as we've said, this team has bounced back every time. Can they do it tonight? Game 2 tip-off coming up next.
Spanish language version of tonight's game presented by ESPN Deportes. Just use that SAP button as we're set for Game 2. A one-sided, lopsided Laker victory in Game 1. The Orlando Magic set to come back. Had an extra day to think about it since Thursday. And as we've said all along, as we said during Game 1, this is a team so resilient. They've done it several times after bad losses. But they're playing right now against the Laker team that is operating on all cylinders. Ray Froston gets inside, misses Gasol the rebound. Kobe Bryant pulls up his first shot short, and Courtney Lee the rebound. Mark, so much made about the Magic and coming back. You'd expect them to play much better. You'd expect them to shoot better. But a big question, can the Lakers stay as hungry and focused as they've been the last couple of games?
Well, they certainly can. You know, you take a look at the last 3 games, they've played exceptional. But the important thing, if you're the Magic, force them to respond to adversity.
Courtney Lee easily gets to the basket, and the Magic get on the board first.
And they doubled Dwight Howard when he faced up. And a good drive by Courtney Lee against the closeout.
Stan Van Gundy said defensively, the Lakers were great in Game 1. And when they play with that type of defensive effort, they're almost unbeatable. And as Fisher misses badly on his first shot attempt.
And to me, this is what Dwight Howard's got to do. He's got to run the floor and get early post position. Great job in drawing the foul on Bynum. He should be ahead of the ball, Mike, the entire game. Well, he puts pressure on the defense, and if he can post up and get paint catches before the defense sets, he can attack and get to the basket.
Well, the thing is, when your big man runs like that, it makes life so much easier for everybody else on the floor.
Meanwhile, offensive foul, Rashard Lewis, a moving screen. 2 quick, tight calls. That call on Bynum wasn't a heck of a lot there. We'll see if that's the way it's going to go throughout as Fisher will inbound.
Well, let's hope so.
Good, you get that out of the way early. We like that. As long as you don't get in that fetal position you promised. Lakers, meanwhile, shot the ball very well, especially through the first 3 quarters when the game was decided. Ariza hits a 3. Trevor Ariza, 5th in these playoffs in 3-point shooting. talk so much about Orlando, but he's been a dead-eye from long range.
Oh, he's a guy that's a much improved shooter, a guy that you have to point the finger to give him recognition. And Craig Hodges, the former knockdown shooter for Chicago Bulls, spends a lot of time with a reason.
Howard misses. Howard just that 1 of 6 from the field. Laker defense did a tremendous job on him. But they need Howard to be dominant again. Ariza this time a slasher. Won't go. Ball batted and taken by Howard, who did have 15 boards in game 1, but just never got in the flow offensively. And a bad pass from Alston, who's saying it was tipped by Fisher. Stan Van Gundy feels the same way, and Kobe Bryant shaken up on the play.
Actually looked like Kobe Bryant stepped on the basketball when he was bringing it up the floor.
But again, it was another good run out by Dwight Howard. I didn't like his face-up jump shot. Just take the double team and make the play.
Gasol on the drive. Blocked by Howard. Oh, what a rejection. Lakers wanted a goaltend. Lewis for 3. Won't go. Ariza tips it and grabs the rebound. You know, the shooting numbers were so poor. In fact, the second worst shooting by a team in NBA Finals history. The Spurs one time shot lower in their finals against the New Jersey Nets. Gasol, nice left hand. Oh, pretty move by Pau Gasol.
That is a big-time post move. That's the way you do it in a drill, trying to put on a clinch.
Lewis, back out Turkoglu, wide open, and nails the 3. Those were the kind of shots they had. Nobody near him against Cleveland, but against the Lakers, most of them, or many of them, were contested.
Well, this team is at their best when they're making plays for one another. That time, Rashard Lewis doesn't settle. Pump fake creates the opening for Turkoglu.
Bryant gets inside and got bumped by Courtney Lee. He picks up his first.
Talking about a skilled big man, very patient, keeps the ball up high, and then fundamentally sound. Eliminates the double team, goes to the left hand off the glass. That is a beautiful movement. Dwight Howard gets away with the goaltending. Hand goes through the rim, blocks the dunk attempt of Pau Gasol.
Yeah, they missed that one. As Gasol scrambles across the lane, misses. Howard another rebound. And again, you see the Magic, as you said, Jeff, trying to run down the floor and not let the Lakers get in that half-court defense and really create problems with their length. Howard against Bynum. Nice spin move inside, draws the foul.
But, Mike, what I like better about that possession for Orlando was they had a cutter, and Dwight Howard, instead of trying to come all the way across the lane, kept his move tighter by staying on one side of the floor so the wing couldn't impact him as much. You'll see him here. He goes to the middle, he throws it out, gets it back, and now he counters back and stays away from all the lengths. Very good move, very good offensive possession by Howard.
Well, Stan Van Gundy said after the Game 6 victory against Cleveland, as Bynum's 2 fouls will immediately send him to the bench. Lamar Odom checks in. He said the key for Howard's 40-point game to clinch the Eastern Conference title was patience, and he showed it there.
I think it boils down to also he's got to make foul shots. They're going to put him on the line. He's got to get these points, Coach.
Well, because they don't have a perimeter player like Kobe Bryant who can go and get his own shot. So they're going to have to play through him, hopefully draw 2, which opens up the 3-point game and the driving kick game for Orlando.
Fisher looking to post up Alston, gets it inside. Bryant blocked for the foul. The foul will go against Courtney Lee. So he picks up his second personal, and that gets Michael Petrus immediately off the bench.
A bad job by Courtney Lee. This is Derek Fisher posting up on the opposite side. Your job is to keep a body on Bryant, allows him to slash to the hoop, gets the contact, and Bryant going to the line.
And in game 1, it wasn't just the big guys, as Bryant misses that free throw, posting up. It was Kobe Bryant posting up, even Luke Walton posting up, and all led to 56 points in the paint, which you're not going to win many games when you allow that.
The problem is the Magic have a very small backcourt. So when you talk about rebounding, when you talk about post defense, they're undersized there. When Petrus comes in the game, it gives them a little bit more size to compete on the backboard. and in the post-up situation.
Bryant hits one of two, a rare miss. He's shooting 90% from the line in the playoffs. Ariza on Turkoglu. He did an excellent job on Turkoglu in game 1. He missed his last 8 shots after starting off hitting a few. Gets Ariza up. Not that time. Bryant, who had 8 rebounds in game 1, grabs that one. Calling for Gasol to set a screen. Knocked away by Petrus. Nice defensive play. They've got a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Petrus, the fake. They're going to call it offensive foul. Derek Fisher steps in and draws the charge. He's one of the best in the NBA at that. Has been that for several seasons.
Of your Petrus fast break, you have to understand what Derek do. He's a guy that steps in for charges all season long. Give up the basketball, take the easy deuce.
Meanwhile, again, no easy buckets for Orlando. They did not have any fast break points in game 1. Odom drives, kicks it out. Fisher, that's a 2-pointer. Odom the rebound. Lamar Odom got a huge ovation as he kicks it out to Ariza when he came into the game. He's been playing such terrific basketball the last 3 games. Final 2 against Denver in game 1 here against Orlando. Howard blocked by Gasol. Howard gets it back. Shot clock did not reset. Alston for 3. Off the mark, Gasol the rebound. And the Magic have started 2 of 8 from the field.
And those are good shots, but I think you must put the ball on the floor and make the Lakers move their feet.
And a 3-second violation called on Lamar Odom. Offensive 3 seconds. So the Lakers turn it over. Phil Jackson having a word with Steve Javie, the crew chief.
Well, Gasol forces him into the baseline trap by Odom. Right there, you can't force it up between 2 guys. You're going to have to make plays off the dribble.
And what I like on that defensive trip, both guys have their hands up high, not committing the foul, forcing Howard to make a play.
The Laker length was bothersome as the foul is going to be called against the Lakers. Lamar Odom picks up his first. Dwight Howard did not have a single dunk in game 1. That gets him going quite a bit, gets the Magic going. Odom's defense part of that.
You give the Lakers credit. They put him to the line 16 times, so they weren't going to allow dunks.
Lewis kicks it out. Good open look. Michael Petrus. Ariza pushing it up the floor. Orlando gets back nicely. Just past the midway point. Quick pace here in the first quarter. Gasol posting up. Nice feed to Odom. In for the layup. Beautiful 2-man game to the front court of the Lakers.
That's great patience on the offensive end. Bryant turning down a quick shot, posting up Powell, and then Powell making the play for Odom.
Gasol, one of the best passing big men in the game. Turkoglu's pass deflected by Fisher. Fisher knocked down by Petrus from behind. Petrus trying to say he didn't touch him, but he bumped him. And the veteran Derek Fisher has already drawn a charge, picked up a steal, and he forces Petrus to commit his second personal. 34-year-old Derek Fisher, the most experienced playoff performer on this team.
You want to win a championship, you got to be willing to sacrifice your body. Derek Fisher hits the deck, outstanding job chasing down the loose ball, and then the little things, interior passing. Pau Gasol hands it off to Lamar Odom, does the rest. Outstanding execution by the Lakers.
Lakers jump out to a 8-6 lead here in game 2 at the Staples Center. Of course, they won game 1 because of the brilliance of Kobe Bryant. Had 40 points, didn't attempt a single 3-point shot. After the game, he said it's one game, no big deal. He was superb. With more, let's go to Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Hey, Mike. Well, so much has been made about Kobe Bryant's demeanor over the course of the last couple of days. His intensity seeming to radiate off of him and permeate this entire Laker roster. And it mattered not time and score. That intensity never waned. Throughout the course of the game, he was jutting that bottom jaw. And even late in the game, with the game well in hand, the Lakers up 20. He is chewing on Pau Gasol for a perceived defensive assignment. His demeanor really changed in Game 5 of the Denver series. He got very serious. When asked yesterday the impact on his teammates, he said, I am sure they're watching how I am preparing and reacting, and they're prepared to follow suit. That's probably not a bad thing, Mike.
Not for the Lakers, certainly, Doris. And Brian, and Mark, we talked about this as he shoots over Turkoglu and knocks it down. I don't think we've ever seen him, and this is one of the most competitive pro athletes we've ever seen. I don't think we've ever seen him this hungry looking.
Absolutely not. You can tell he's trying to send a message to his team. Not satisfied with the way that they finished their season last year. He's doing a great job of leading and, when necessary, using words.
Meanwhile, Marcin Gortat from Poland comes into the game, so the Magic going big as Alston draws the foul. So Austin will go to the free throw line. Austin made some headlines after game one, where he talked about he felt he got out of rhythm. Jameer Nelson playing his first game in 4 months. Nelson, the all-star point guard, recovering from the surgery on his shoulder. Played the entire second quarter. Austin did not have a good game one and said that was part of it. Stan Van Gundy said, sounds like an excuse to me. Austin said they talked about it, but not exactly the right time to publicly question whether or not somebody should be playing, Mark.
No, absolutely not. And I've talked to reporters. I've also talked to players and former players, and it's split down the middle. But I'm a guy that believes if you're Rafer Alston, understand you have a job to do. Understand that this is Jameer Nelson's team. And the best possible way, Coach, for the Orlando Magic to beat the Lakers is with Jameer Nelson playing big minutes.
Well, there's no other all-star in the NBA where someone would question whether they should play or not. I mean, Jameer Nelson is an all-star player, and he needs to play if healthy.
Lewis was an all-star player, makes a nice play there. Now, Stan Van Gundy did say after the game that I made a mistake leaving him in too long. He played that entire second quarter, so you probably won't see Jameer Nelson play that long a stretch as we have a kickball.
And I had guys that argued the case of Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler, the former Giants quarterback. This is in a one-game series. You have to win 4 games to win the prize. And if Stan Van Gundy feels like he has a healthy all-star point guard in Jameer Nelson, that's his job to put the best possible guys out there.
Well, also, they're under-talented in this series. So if you can add more talent, particularly in your backcourt, where their weakness, as Odom goes to the free throw line, now they're really getting into serious foul trouble. Pietrus 2, Courtney Lee 2.
And Rashard Lewis 2, so J.J. Redick will check into the game. Redick played just under 8 minutes, kind of mop-up time in the fourth quarter. As Odom's first free throw, no good. Lakers have missed 2 of their first 3 from the line. So some foul difficulties early on for Orlando.
And Mike, I want to go back to the question about Rafer Alston. Counter that with Shannon Brown's attitude coming off the bench a couple times this year. He doesn't even play in the first half, plays for a couple minutes in the third quarter. You don't see him coming out after the game and saying, hey, I wasn't in rhythm, I can't play well. He's just so excited for the opportunity. So much of this game is about your attitude and team attitude first.
Lakers by 1, just under 4 remaining in the first. Howard against Gasol. Here comes a double team. Kirkgroup goes right back. Howard couldn't hold on. Lakers have the numbers if they push. Ariza. Odom trying to tip it. Howard takes it away. Howard with 6 boards already.
I think his energy level is totally different here to start this game.
Bryant on Alston. Gortat gets it in deep. And a 3-second violation. Howard down in there. That is 6 turnovers for the Orlando Magic. They had 8 total turnovers in game 1.
Well, really not doing a good job sealing and putting himself in position to catch Dwight Howard, and also the guys delivering the pass. Not doing a good job of putting it on point.
They have an advantage when they play big defensively, but it's a disadvantage offensively.
Both teams right now struggling offensively. Both shooting at 30% from the field. Not a lot of points here in the early going. Redick is on Bryant. Bryant looks up, shot clock at 2. Ariza. Gortat, foul by Gasol. That's the first foul on Pau Gasol. Now we'll take a timeout. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the first. Laker lead.
This is what I've seen so far. We're playing exactly the way we played in game 1. Other than Rashard making the pass, we're making the same plays offensively into their hands. When's it gonna change? You've seen it now. You know where they're coming from in all situations.
Well, he said after game one, we're a lot better than we showed. He's still not happy. You think he knows that Jameer Nelson comes in? Today's his anniversary, you know. 2 years ago today, the Orlando Magic hired him. And ironically, it came 6 days after Billy Donovan was introduced as the head coach of the Orlando Magic. The great coach at Florida took the job. They had the press conference, and then a day later said, I made a mistake. And that mistake turned out to be a terrific move for the Orlando Magic, because Stan Van Gundy, who was close to the Sacramento job, came to Orlando, and we've seen what he's done in his 2 years with the Magic.
Well, let me say this about Billy Donovan. Great coach at Florida. He's the reason, while I was on Rick Pitino's staff at Providence, that Rick, Herb Sendek at Arizona State, Stu Jackson, all of us got more money. We deserve to pay him, and Stan needs to give him a little cut of his money, too.
Always helpful to the Van Gundy family. As the shot clock down to 7, Odom knocks down the jumper. 5 points off the bench for Odom.
But I disagreed with Stan. I think they played much different to start this game. I think they're playing harder with more energy. The turnovers are obviously a problem, but I think they're playing a much harder game.
Redick, too strong. And a foul on Derek Fisher. Fisher and Howard went for it. Brown doesn't like the call as Fisher picks up his first. They're in the penalty. So Howard will go to the line.
And this is one of the things you talk about when you talk about the Orlando Magic. It's not an all in the backcourt. You want guys that's willing to get after the basketball and gang rebounds. Give Derek Fisher credit. That's a foul, but a good job of perimeter players helping bigs on the boards.
You look at Fisher, how hard he competes and how willing he is to sacrifice his body for the good of the team. You got to respect that.
And he has not let his energy or his poor shooting early in the playoffs affect his energy. He's been shooting much better last several games of the conference finals, and in game one, he's had an incredible NBA Finals run, shooting from three-point range 46% in all his NBA Finals games. Only Ray Allen has a higher percentage.
Well, you give me a guy like Derek Fisher any day of the week. He's not afraid of the moment, no matter how big it gets.
Here's Luke Walton. Walton played very well in game one. Kicks it out. Odom again, an open jumper. Gortat puts out. Ball knocked loose. J.J. Redick tracks it down.
But that's where they want Lamar Odom shooting. They want him shooting perimeter jump shots instead of in the paint where he got that first layup. And I like the big lineup, how it looks defensively and rebounding-wise for Orlando. But it is very hard for them to create enough spacing down here on offense to get good shots.
Nelson played solidly in terms of his own game in the second quarter of game one. Did not look good at all in the second half. Played 23 and a half minutes. Howard with 6 on the shot clock. Back out Redick. Redick's got to put it up. Drives across. Shot clock on 1. Turkoglu just gets it off in time. Won't go. And Howard another rebound. He's got 7 already. Goes back up and in. And Howard gets his first field goal. He only had 1 in game one. That was in the first 2 minutes of the game.
I like what he's doing. Very active, doing his work on the boards, and that time a big-time post move.
Backer won't go. Lakers now 29% from the field.
Well, Gortat's a heck of a defender, so he's really given them some stability defensively.
Howard takes his time, gets inside, much more patient. Can't get him to fall, though. And Odom. Here's a 6'10 Odom leading the break. Fisher left wide open, puts it in. A low-scoring first quarter.
You look at the problems it creates when your power forward rebounds the basketball and then leads the fast break. Misassignments defensively.
Howard lost it. Bryant took a shot in the nose. That's their 7th turnover already here in the first quarter. Luke Walton wants to post up J.J. Redick. Nice advantage here for the Lakers. Nice pass from Gasol. Gets it back, flips it up. And Howard the rebound. Magic will hold it for the final shot of the first period. Offensive foul. Howard a moving screen. His first foul. And the 8th turnover for Orlando. That's as many as they have the entire game one.
Well, that's a tough call to make. I mean, that's Derek Fisher, a guy known to create contact in pick and roll situations. I'm Dwight Howard. I have a case to be made.
2.6, plenty of time. Get off a quality shot. Lee's got 2 fouls on Bryant. Fires the 3. Off the mark. And we just had the lowest combined scoring first quarter in NBA Finals history as both teams shoot poorly in that opening period. Now, Howard did have 8 rebounds, but nobody shot the ball well. Lakers at 30% from the field. They were 6 of 20. Magic 4 of 14. First quarter's over.
Stan Van Gundy, last few minutes of that period, you had Gortat and Howard on the floor together. What were you looking to achieve?
Well, we had everybody with foul trouble. I mean, Lewis with 2, Pietrus with 2, Lee with 2. So we sort of got forced into it a little earlier than we thought.
Stan, you talked after watching the game film from Game 1 that they were a step faster. What did you think of the first 12 minutes where that was concerned?
I thought it was where our defense was a little better, our offense was no better whatsoever.
All right, thank you, Coach. Mike.
All right, Doris, the first quarter in Game 1 was not the problem. The Magic actually led after the first quarter. They were up 24-22. Here they're tied. Their defense certainly was better, but the foul problems did cause some concerns as several players, especially 3 in Orlando with 2. All right, Mark, we talk about the Lakers and throughout the playoffs how their defensive intensity, their defensive hunger sometimes would change after a win. What do you see from the Lakers defense and the way they came out in the first quarter?
I'm very impressed with the Lakers defense. You know, the last couple of ball games. You talk about Game 5, Game 6, the Denver series, and then Game 1 of this series. They are in tune. They are paying attention to detail. They understand how they want to force teams to beat them. Outstanding job early on in this ball game also.
Farmar left open. Bynum sets a big screen, and Farmar knocks it down. The Laker interior defense especially, they've made life miserable for Dwight Howard so far. Howard on the bench right now. Tony Petit getting some early minutes. Petit played just 5.5 minutes in Game 1. Lewis gets inside, and I think Bynum got a piece of it right there on a follow. Lewis backs it back in.
But when Rashard Lewis is at the 3, he's an underrated post player. He can go at Luke Walton in the post and get quality shots off.
He was a primary post player when he was with Seattle and the Sonics. As you see, Sasha Vujacic in the game. Vujacic and Farmar. Bynum against Gortat. Bynum misses. Lewis the rebound. Here's Jameer Nelson. Farmar has some good quickness to defend. Nelson misfires. Gortat in for the rebound. Couple of fakes. Puts it back up. No good. Lewis or Petit right there. Petit stripped down low. Nice play from Farmar. And Vujacic saves it. Turnovers. Meaning problems for Orlando. 9 already. Just 2 for the Lakers. But the Magic on the boards have been terrific. Plus 10 right now. Odom jump shot.
And Mike, you've said this many times. If he plays well, the Lakers have no shot of being beat.
He's on a terrific stretch. Game 5 and 6 against Denver. As Gortat nearly falls on Nelson. Petit turnaround jumper. And Petit gets it to go. They could use a little bit of his experience. Tony Petit played a lot with the Boston Celtics when they went to the conference finals back in 2002. That's a long time ago, but he's a smart veteran. Farmar, nice job of getting rid of Nelson. Quick down the other end. Oh, and a block from Odom. Banks it off the backboard as Vujacic comes the other way. They want to get it to Bynum. Good low post position against Gortat. Nearly falls down. And a 3-second violation. We've seen 3 offensive 3-second violations here in the first half.
How about Lamar Odom? Basically showing us a little bit of everything so far. Hustling down the floor. LeBron James is at home on vacation. Lamar Odom takes his role in this movie. Good job of chasing down and blocking down the fast break layup.
Luke Walton the foul on Lewis.
No, Coach, this is so important. Not giving up on play. Teams would allow this to be deuce. Good down the floor, blocking the shot of J.J. Redick.
Nelson looks up, shot clock at 6. And another foul on Walton, a little over-aggressive on his ball denial of Rashard Lewis. So 2 quick fouls on Luke. Kobe Bryant getting his rest. 2-point Laker lead. A low-scoring game 2, to say the least. Redick, hands in his face, and another moving screen. And that's the 10th turnover for Orlando. Gortat agrees with Tom Washington, but maybe not now.
Yeah, but one of the things we talked about is passing on point. Rashard Lewis had a wide-open J.J. Redick, but the pass was off of his hands. He couldn't step in, therefore not allowing him to get the jump.
Nelson bangs it out of bounds. Still Laker ball. And we'll have a timeout. A sloppy start here to game 2. And some poor shooting from both teams.
You can make the case that Lamar Odom has been the best player so far in this ball game. Says to Redick, not on my watch. Get it out of here. And this team is at its best when he is aggressive on the offensive end. Stepping in rhythm, knocking down Jays. It's the Lamar Odom show.
Warren Beatty getting a good seat. Mark Wahlberg. Fordham's Denzel Washington. And only one name, as you requested, Jeff.
How about Denzel Washington's new movie coming out? Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Actually, was my favorite movie as a young.
Bynum puts it in and a foul. And a lead up to 4.
Well, again, Bynum catches in the post, backs in, spins middle off of Gortat's body. I don't know. J.J. Redick wasn't even in the picture there. I'm not sure who the foul was on. It's just a Duke prejudice. You know, if a Duke player's on the floor, he's going to get the foul.
It should have been Nelson who was in the play. Meanwhile, this is the largest early lead. Redick jump shot. Odom the rebound. Odom very active, 7 points, 3 boards, and a block. Farmar for 3. And Lewis tracks it down.
And I'm going to say this. I don't think this Orlando Magic lineup on the floor probably played more than 100 total minutes together all year.
Foul trouble. Part of the reason is Lewis able to put it in. The Magic desperately need either a Lewis or a Turkoglu just to have a good, solid game. Doesn't even have to be a great game. Just get something going. There's a brick from the corner from Vujicic. Knocked out of bounds. And it's going to be Magic ball. Howard's going to come back in the game. Now the finals after tonight will switch to Orlando for games 3, 4, and 5. Tuesday night, game 3, 9 Eastern tip-off shortly after. And then game 4 on Thursday. And then the following Sunday, game 5. And that'll be the earlier start. Tip-off shortly after 8 Eastern on the Sunday games this year. Like tonight. Redick wide open. Can't get it to fall. J.J. Redick off the bench, 0 for 4. He's upset with himself. That's a great look. Howard trying to swat it away. Bynum. Short, but see the rebound. Foul as they go down the floor. You see if it's on.
It's on Farmar giving Dwight Howard a little chuck as he was coming down the floor, running the middle of the floor.
That call made by Monty McCutcheon. You know, we talk about the players in their first NBA Finals experience. That's the case for Monty McCutcheon. McCutcheon, first chance in the championship round. Tom Washington, meanwhile, in his second Finals game, and then the veteran Steve Javie, who's been doing it for a long time. Nelson still out there.
You know, Turkoglu is a guy that's going to have to make plays. This team is at its best when he's facilitating offense for other guys. He can't just be a regular guy on the floor.
Lewis able to put it in. So a couple of jumpers for Rashard Lewis.
And Orlando's gone away from their pick and roll game to some more movement action, and it's gotten them some pretty quality looks.
Odom looking to post up down the other end. Lost it. Howard had it. Odom thought he got hit. Magic trying to push. He's tried to up the tempo right from the start. Nelson fires away a three. Not close, and Odom hauls in another rebound. (24-23). Yes, this is the second quarter score as Bynum rattles it in. Andrew Bynum's second field goal.
How about the post move by Bynum?
Lewis for three. That's good. Rashard Lewis suddenly heating up. And the Magic have tied things up. He had in the game 1, 8 total points. He's got 11 right now.
And the question is, when will Kobe Bryant decide to put his foot on the gas pedal and make plays on the offensive end?
Farmar, reverse won't go. Rebound tip. Bynum did a good job keeping it alive. Shot clock did not reset. And Farmar misses the foul. Turkoglu batting from behind, and that might be on Bynum. That would be his third. And that's not the kind of foul you want to see Bynum commit. So Bynum picks up number 3. But for the Magic right now, somebody's finally finding the range of getting hot. It's Rashard Lewis.
Well, the first play, Rashard Lewis drives it into his pull-up going baseline. Got space against a very good defender in Lamar Odom, and then good penetration by Turkoglu, on target pass, wide open, knocked down 3.
Here in the second quarter, Rashard Lewis getting hot for Orlando. Lewis in his second year with the Magic after 9 years with the Sonics. He signed a huge free agent deal. We asked him during that summer what made up his mind.
Orlando was honestly my number one option just because of the fact of Dwight Howard. You know, I seen the potential in him, and he's a dominant center, but he was a young center, and I knew he had room to grow, but he's going to be with that organization for a while. And if you look at the NBA and the history of the NBA, big man most definitely take their team to the finals or always win the NBA championships. And Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, and I felt like Dwight was going to be my chance to win a ring.
Well, $118 million didn't hurt either, but he really has said he doesn't need to score 20 points per game anymore. He's done that enough where he's sitting at home in April. And he has been a terrific player during this playoff run.
Oh, you find yourself a big man, they have a way of winning ball games when it matters most. And Dwight Howard is only going to get better. But he's a guy that, you know, he's going to have to be hungry come summertime because a post game is the only thing that's left for him to acquire.
Well, Magic battling, they just still can't get it to go down.
You're absolutely right. He needs a more defined, more compact post game.
Ariza wide open, hits a three. His second three-pointer of the game. And the Lakers back up 29-26.
You just turn and see Trevor Ariza. You say, okay, this guy realized I'm going to get open shots, and I'm going to have to put myself in a position to be able to finish.
Pretty move from Turkoglu, but he couldn't finish. Howard knocks it out of bounds. Then you look, Howard is still frustrated on the offensive end, as we see down the other end for the Lakers.
That's just bad defense. That's not even Kobe creating a play for Trevor Ariza. That's just missed assignments and nobody there to contest.
Ariza. Shot clock down to 7. Kobe Bryant. Gasol. Can't get it to go, and Howard with his 10th rebound. Both teams continue to struggle shooting the ball, though the defense certainly has a lot to do with it. Nice pass inside, but somebody got a piece of it, or Howard couldn't handle it. Bryant goes right at Ray for Alston, kicks it out. Fisher for 3. Bang! Largest lead of the first half for the Lakers.
And that's back-to-back plays by Bryant as Rashard Lewis knocks down the jump shot.
Boy, Lewis has come alive in a big way. He's got 12 points in the period. 5 for 6 from the field. Fisher comes off and again open, not that time. Under the 4-minute mark. Alston back in. Jameer Nelson did not play the same amount that he played in the second quarter. Game 1, Stan Van Gundy said he wouldn't have him go that long. And Alston back in there. Turkoglu trying to create. Ariza lost it, but Gasol has it.
See, and that shot right there, to me, is what Orlando needs to add to their offense, is a guy who can get his own shot off the dribble.
Bad pass from Kobe Bryant, stolen by Howard. Lewis kicks it out. Petras up to Alston. Lewis fires away. And Ariza tips it.
That's bad execution, too. You have a 3-on-1 fast break, you wind up with a three-pointer.
Gasol draws the foul. Petras picks up his third. And Pau Gasol will shoot a couple. And we'll take a timeout under the 3-minute mark. Lakers hanging on to a 3-point lead here in Game 2. Shooting 61% in the playoffs. He's only 2 of 10 from this field in this series. And he's part of the Coors Light cold hard look.
Pay attention to detail. A double team of Dwight Howard even before he catches the basketball. Once he does catch it, your job, send him to the help. Good double team by Derek Fisher. High hands with Dwight Howard. You have to finish that. Here you have an entry pass from Rashard Lewis. Cuts away. Excellent execution by Lamar Odom. Wait until he puts the ball on the floor. Come back and double team. Does a good job. High hands. Forces Superman into a tough shot. Hard job getting a clean look tonight offensively for Dwight Howard.
Again, he has struggled so far from the field as we get more from Doris.
Well, guys, mixed into Stan Van Gundy's message to his team were a few words Mrs. Van Gundy definitely wouldn't approve of, but he simply looked at his guys and very vehemently asked, do we have the will to compete in this series or not? Mike?
Well, he was on them early in the first quarter. Did you get in trouble for using bad words?
I never did.
Yeah.
And I still don't.
We have a couple
I made it a practice when I was coaching to speak how I would want to been talked to myself. So.
Well, it's not easy with Dwight Howard because Dwight Howard is a rarity. He does not curse, does not swear.
Maybe this guy has forgotten that I played for him.
Shot clock down to 7. Alston. Pass goes through Howard. Turkoglu gets inside, flips it up with the left hand. Redick has it, the new 24 hit the rim. Lewis looking. Redick off the drive. Kicks it out. Lewis, good open look. And that one won't go down. They're 3 of 13 from three-point range.
But when they drive that ball right there, they got to drive to score. Redick could have gone in and shot in a layup.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. Kobe Bryant wide open for 3. The largest lead of the first half.
That has to be a kick out for somebody else if you're the Orlando Magic. If you're J.J. Redick, your job is to stay at home on Kobe Bryant.
Bryant's first 3 of the finals, only attempted 1 in that 40-point Game 1. Lewis comes right back. Big shot from Lewis. Boy, he's doing an excellent job keeping him in the game.
And you know what? Dwight Howard has 4 turnovers, but I like how he's playing in this game. Good passes out of the post. Guys haven't made shots. He's defending a lot harder, and he's rebounding harder than he did in Game 1.
Gasol, Howard with a hand up, and Gasol able to knock it down. 6-point game as we come up on a minute remaining here in the first half. Lakers led by 10 in the first half of Game 1. Lewis again open, puts it in. Rashard Lewis, his 4th three-pointer, and he has 18 points in the second period.
And part of the problem, Lamar Odom falling asleep defensively against Rashard Lewis. Good job of moving without the basketball and finding.
20 points here in the first half for Lewis. Ball batted out. Kobe Bryant on the drive and drew the foul. I think they can call it before the shot. So they'll take it out of bounds.
Now, we gave credit to Lamar Odom earlier. Well, this time he stays in La-La land. No pun intended. Rashard Lewis does a good job of curling to the top. Gotcha. Wide open look. Rashard Lewis on fire.
Don't forget, stay tuned for the Finals Player of the Game vote presented by T-Mobile during the second half of tonight's game. Gasol gets inside and throws it down. Lakers back up by 5. And the Magic will hold it for the final shot of the first half. They put it in Turkoglu's hands. They like to do that. He's an excellent playmaker. Turkoglu, though, just 1 of 7 from the field. Redick fires away. Won't go. Rebound tipped by Howard. And that will end the second quarter. A low-scoring first half. And for the Magic, how low would have been without the shooting of Rashard Lewis? He had 18 of their 20 points in the period. 7 of 10 from the field. He's got 4 3-pointers, and the Magic certainly needed that, as they only shot as a team 32%. Meanwhile, Andrew Bynum 3 quick fouls, but the Laker defense has been strong. Kobe Bryant with 5 assists, and he's with Doris.
Yes, you were just engaged in a conversation with Derek Fisher. What was that about?
Just talking about coverages. You know, Orlando, they made their adjustments from the first game. And, halftime, we got to take a look and make ours.
Rashard Lewis obviously more effective through the first half than he was in game 1. What do you have to do defensively with him?
Talk about those adjustments. Yeah. You know, they did a great job freeing him up. And, we got to go over it and make our adjustments.
Kobe, you were a facilitator, only 5 shots. Why the change in approach?
Well, it's reading what the defense is doing. You know, it's... it seems like they're trying to challenge me to make plays and make passes, and that's what I try to do.
All right, Kobe, thank you. Mike.
Live from the NBA Finals in Los Angeles, California, welcome to the T-Mobile Halftime Report.
The halftime score, the Los Angeles Lakers 40, Rashard Lewis 20. But since Rashard does have a team, it's actually 40-35. Rashard, though, doing a lot of work. What's up? Welcome to the T-Mobile Halftime Report. Stuart Scott, Mike Wilbon, John Barry, Hall of Famer Magic Johnson. Guys, if I would have told you that Kobe Bryant would have 6 points at halftime and Rashard Lewis would have 20, what would you think the halftime score would be?
20-6.
That's that Georgia Tech
wise guy here.
What else is doing anything?
I thought you would think Orlando would be up by 8 to 10 points instead of playing the second dreadful game of the series in only 2 games. We're not even through 2 games yet, and they're doing it again, Magic.
32% shooting, 11 turnovers.
But they can't be up 5 because the pace is too slow for them. They'll never beat the Lakers at a half-court game. Even with Kobe Bryant only taking 5 shots, they're behind right now 5 points, that being the Orlando Magic. They must speed the game up and get more transition baskets, and then they'll give themselves a better chance to win, because Turkoglu has to get into the game on a full-court basis, not in a half-court set.
And Dwight Howard, 1 more field goal.
He's also
in game 1.
Only had 1 touch in the paint in the second quarter. I mean, they are out-rebounding the Lakers right now. They're +8 in rebounding. But Magic, like you said, when you were having that kind of rebounding edge, you should be pushing, on the other hand, 11 turnovers in the first half. These are numbers that don't make sense.
There's no respect for the jump shooting of the Orlando Magic. These guys can not knock down shots. It's a joke. They're wide open. J.J. Redick comes in. He goes 0 for 5. Peter's yet to score. If it wasn't for this guy, Rashard Lewis, who's 8 of 12 for 20 points, this is another blowout. They don't even score 25 points in the half. 25 points in the NBA Finals? Come on.
What are the Lakers going to do?
Minneapolis Lakers?
What are the Lakers going to do differently to Rashard Lewis in the second half?
Well, they have to stay with him more, because he's got a lot of wide open 3-point shots, and now he's in the flow and in his rhythm, and he's going to be hard to stop. But remember, we said at the top, the second quarter and the fourth quarter has always been Rashard Lewis' biggest quarters.
There was no flow, no vibe in the first quarter. The 30 points combined in the first quarter, the lowest in the shot clock era in the NBA Finals for combined points in the first quarter, only 30. Hey, we've been asking you, and you have been responding. And Game 1 fans selected Kobe Bryant through the Finals Player of the Game vote presented by T-Mobile. Take part in tonight's vote. Text the last name of your choice for Player of the Game to 69622 from any wireless phone. Voting unlimited, open through the end of the game. The winner will be announced at the conclusion of tonight's action. Standard messaging rates may apply. Hey, Trevor Ariza's story of childhood tragedy and redemption through his own son. Trust me, you will not want to miss this story. It's next.
I would tell him that his uncle wasn't here for a long time, but the time that he was here, he left a big imprint on my life.
Without Trevor Ariza, we may very well be doing these halftime shows from Houston or Denver, not L.A. Ariza is not known for his offense. His career scoring average is just 7 points per game, but he is the Lakers' best defender. And twice in the last series, he preserved Laker wins late with a very crucial steal to seal the win. Even now, though, as the Lakers are on the verge of what could be another NBA championship, Trevor Ariza is never very far from tragedy in his past. Here's Chris Connolly.
Ariza doesn't settle for the three and throws it down.
Even as his high-energy contributions have helped lift the Lakers to the NBA Finals,
Trevor Ariza with the steal.
Trevor Ariza knows that family comes first. The family that has always been there for him through his days in big-time basketball. How has your family picked you up when you've been down?
When I was coming out for the draft, everybody was against me, like, oh, what are you doing? Go back to school. Go, you're tripping. My mom always told me, she was behind me 100%. We got you no matter what. We behind you no matter what. Again?
Now Trevor is a parent himself, father of a 1-year-old. As he teaches his son basketball, he hopes one day to tell him about his uncle, Taj.
I wouldn't tell him that his uncle wasn't here for a long time, but the time that he was here, he left a big imprint on my life.
Trevor can still recall how sweet and appealing his youngest brother Taj could be, especially with their mother.
He would call her baby all the time and stuff, and bring her flowers every time he came back in the house. He'll pick a flower from the grass or something and bring it to her. He was funny, real lovable guy. Me and him actually always used to sleep in the same bed, so we were real close.
On March 18th, 1996, the family was in Caracas, Venezuela, where Trevor's stepfather, Kenny McClary, was playing basketball for a local pro team. 10-year-old Trevor and his mother went to the game. 5-year-old Taj and another brother, 8-year-old Kenny, were staying with a babysitter when tragedy struck.
Before the jump ball was getting ready to start, they took my dad off the court and told him that what had happened.
There had been a horrible accident. Taj had fallen from an open window at their high-rise hotel and plunged to his death.
I didn't want to believe it, but once I got there to the scene, saw all the police, saw my brother, because my brother actually seen him falling from the window. He was up in the window, he's playing, and he slipped. And once he slipped, he fell back, and my brother ran to the window. And he said as my brother was falling, all he could hear him say was, he was calling for my mom.
13 years have passed, but the sense of loss can still be hard for Trevor to shake. Their all-too-brief time together is commemorated in the tattoos on Trevor's neck, chest, and arms.
It says, blood is thicker than water. I am my brother's keeper. Rest in peace, Taj. I miss you.
Ariza driving to the rim for the 10.
And on the basketball court, even during the intensity of the playoffs, with so much at stake, Trevor says he senses his brother Taj's presence.
I went to the basket and I dunked the ball. As I was running back, I swear I felt like a cold breeze, and I stopped for a minute and I was like, oh yeah, that's my brother talking to me.
Ready?
Best of all, there is the special time Trevor enjoys with his 1-year-old, a son named Taj.
It sounds weird, but he kind of reminds me of my brother a little bit.
Taj, say bye. Say bye-bye. Bye.
Sometimes you win by winning championships. Other times you win just by being inspired by the loss of a loved one. Trevor Ariza and the Lakers 5 points ahead. Second half coming back.
We have to have the advantage in transition. By that I mean they should not score, okay? We should be back every time, and we should be able to push the ball. We have to play faster, quicker, and harder than they do to win this game. Cut our turnovers down, all right? Keep fighting with our defense. We will hit a stretch where we make a lot of shots if we get stops and if we get out in transition.
Orlando Magic still without a fast break point through 6 quarters of these NBA Finals. We're at halftime of Game 2. Lakers have taken Game 1 and have a 5-point lead as we get set for the start of the 3rd quarter from the Staples Center. Dwight Howard working on the free throws. They're the only shots he's been able to knock down as his Magic down by 5. Hi again, everyone, with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. Mike Green on hand. We'll check in with Doris Burke in just a moment. Magic had a couple of things they needed to change from Game 1. Points in the paint, defending that. They did better at that. Rebounding, they did much better at that. Still not shooting the ball well. But despite doing some of these things better, they're still down by 5, Jeff.
Well, your defense can only hold the fort for so long. But as we heard Stan say, they've got to play faster, and it goes both ways. Dwight Howard, as he's running back, can't point at Pau Gasol. He's got to sprint back and kick out Turkoglu and Lewis to the perimeter, so Trevor Ariza doesn't get this semi-transition three-point shot. Here again, allowing frustration offensively to impact your defensive effort. Again, pointing to Gasol instead of running back and guarding Gasol. Listen, the Magic are going nowhere unless they get all out from Dwight Howard on every possession.
That was our Gatorade Cooler talk. Well, they finally got something going with one of their other All-Stars, Rashard Lewis, Mark.
Oh, absolutely. But if I'm Rashard Lewis, I say, hey, we all been invited to the party. Somebody get on the dance floor with me, because he's put on a clinic so far in this ballgame. Bad Laker defense. Rashard Lewis, wide open jump shots. He is the #1 threat for the Orlando Magic. This is just moving without the basketball, missed assignments, basketball moves, good job of being ready to lock and load. Rashard Lewis put on a clinic, knocking down shots. Aggressive, patient, got away, and when the ball found him, he did the rest. They need somebody else to help him on the offensive end.
And you see Lewis again, he had 20 points. The rest of the team had 15, knocking down some three-pointers. As Lewis, the one guy for the Magic to finally explode.
He was 8 for 12. Everyone else on the Magic, 4 for 25.
Ariza, shot won't go. Bynum tries to keep it alive, knocked out of his hands. Meanwhile, again, Mark, the Lakers, the story throughout the postseason, after a big win like they had in Game 1, do they come back with the same ferocity as Howard goes across and dumps it in? Did you see that from them in the first half?
Well, I saw it in spurts. But those shots by Rashard Lewis, that was bad defense. Kobe Bryant and Derek Fisher just before the half talked about it. There's nothing you can do. There's no adjustments there other than finding your man and contesting his shot.
Bryant puts it in. Bryant, a quiet 6 points. Looked to distribute more in the first half. He had 5 assists. And the Lakers back up by 5. Here's the quarter in Game 1 where the game was blown open. Turkoglu, nice move to the basket. Turkoglu, who's really struggled shooting, able to get that one to go.
Well, that's where he has to be effective. North-south rather than east-west. He has to put the ball on the floor and look to make plays towards the paint.
As we said in Game 1, Turkoglu's like Odom as Howard deflects it. When Turkoglu plays well, Magic are a tough team to beat. Austin sidesteps Fisher, and just like that, it's a one-point game. And that's their first fast break point of these finals.
Those fast break points, Mike, are so unreliable. You can't trust them. Trevor Ariza's 3 in the first half should have been a fast break 3. They only got credited with 2 fast break points the whole quarter.
Sometimes a misleading stat, you think?
The most.
The most. All right, let's check in with Doris.
Well, guys, as you can imagine, Brendan Malone, the sentiments expressed by our guys, very much the same as his. Difficult time finding a way to score. Jeff, you mentioned in the first half, when they entered the ball into the post and got cutters off that, they were pleased with that action. They'll try to do more of that. They also talked about beating them up the floor, picking up the tempo. We'll see how they do here, guys.
All right, well, Lewis picked up the tempo in the second quarter. Picks up the pace there as he draws the foul. And he'll go to the free throw line for the first time. Rashard Lewis, who grew up in Houston, was a big Rockets fan, says that's what he remembers most from the finals as a kid. He remembers in '95 when the Rockets beat the Orlando Magic. And of course, today is the anniversary. 14 years ago today, the Orlando Magic played Game 1 of the NBA Finals against Houston. That was a game they were up by 20 in the first half and lost it in overtime, wound up getting swept. So they are still, as a franchise, without a finals victory, 0 for 5.
I like the way they're coming out in this second half. pushing the ball in transition. That's where they can be most dangerous against this Laker team. And then Turkoglu in pick-and-roll situations, making plays.
And they've regained the lead. They trailed by as many as 7 in that first half. Bryant, hand at his face, knocks it down. He had 18 in the third quarter in game 1. He's off to a quick start here in this third quarter.
Listen, that's good defense, better offense. He's just too big.
Lewis got hit. As he tried to get past Gasol, they didn't call it. A little shaken up. Austin not close. Turkoglu tried to get the rebound.
I think he got kneed in the thigh, Mike, which is very painful.
Bryant, aggressive offensively, turnaround shot, in and out, and in again. Here he goes.
Think about it, if you're Courtney Lee, you're thinking, oh, no, not again.
He outscored the Magic all by himself in that third period of game 1, 18-15. He's got 6 points in less than 3 minutes here.
And Stan Van Gundy not wasting time, getting Petras back into the ball game to defend Bryant.
Where Ariza has done a very good job on Turkoglu. Gets it from behind. Turkoglu draws a foul. And that's 4 on Bynum.
I'm not sure if that's good for Orlando or bad for Orlando.
Good point, especially the way Lamar Odom's playing.
And that's a foul. You know, jumping towards Turkoglu. Turkoglu takes the hit. How many teams in this league where the starting big man gets in foul trouble, they bring in another big and actually get better?
Well, I remember when Stan was coaching Lamar back in Miami. He always thought he was a top 30 player in this league because of his versatility, because he could drive it, he could post it. He was an, erratic shooter, but he could shoot it. And also, you never could face any pressure because he could handle and bring it and act like a point guard. So you could, the versatility that he brought to the game, he thought made it easy to coach the whole team.
And this year, he is a free agent, and at first wasn't happy coming off the bench, but then played it well, did some starting. As Kobe Bryant pulls up again, not that time. And Ray Alston nearly tipped it to Ariza. Why wouldn't he just grab that? Howard gets it deep, and a reach-in foul called on Kobe Bryant.
Well, right there, Dwight Howard has to read the defense better. He had an easy left-handed shot, but he turned back into Gasol. Here he has him sealed. Just go shoot your left hand jump hook going to the basket.
He's had a bunch of balls banged out of his hands a couple of times. Now single coverage against Gasol. Here comes Fisher to help out. Nearly got away with a travel. Petras off the dribble. Gets it to go. Petras' first field goal.
I like the way Dwight Howard's passing the ball out of the post, Mark. It's leading to some good shots.
That's how you make guys better on the floor. Take the double team, get rid of the basketball.
Gasol puts it in. Well, Howard would have had a few more assists. He had 2 in game 1. He's got 2 here if they knock down some shots.
That's why assists sometimes are difficult, too, as Petras drives to the rim. Because if a guy doesn't make a shot or he gets fouled, he doesn't get credit for a very good play.
Bryant to Ariza. Ariza on the drive, gets to the goal. Howard got caught on a Gasol screen. Seven and a half remaining in the third. Pace is picked up. Alston wide open. Boy, Alston hasn't even been close. 1 for 6 now from the field after a rough game 1. Gasol is shaken up down the other end and slow coming up the floor. Alston now 0 for 6 from three-point range in the finals. Fisher to the basket. Boy, that one was going to say too easy, but he blew the layup. And here comes Alston the other way. Alston quickly to the basket. Blocked by Odom. Ariza the rebound. Bryant had it poked away by Lewis. Rashard Lewis keeping Orlando close in this one. Howard double team. Block, a jump ball. They're going to call a jump ball as Odom with his third block.
See Dwight Howard on the post. You see 3 Lakers around him. Upset there was no call. Good job by Lamar Odom staying down.
When he spins, to me, he's got to bring that ball up higher so the little guards like Fisher can't have an impact and try to strip.
That's what I said earlier. He's had it stripped a number of times, and usually that's where it's stripped. Wins the tip. Howard wants the ball again. Gasol trying to poke it away. Shot clock down to 4. Down to 2. Turkoglu has to put up a 2-pointer. Rattles it in. Hedo Turkoglu from long distance.
Well, you see what Stan Van Gundy said in the locker room at halftime. Hey, we're going to make shots. Continue to trust your options.
Bryant drives past Petrus. Kicks it out to Gasol. Pau Gasol to the basket. Blocked the foul by Turkoglu. Free throws for the Lakers. They've only been there 7 times.
You know, if I'm Dwight Howard, I'm telling assistant coach Pat Ewing, 1 week vacation, and then you and I, night in and night out, working on my post game. You want to be great, that's what you do.
By the way, before the game, I asked Patrick Ewing, who was an assistant coach under you, Jeff, in Houston, and now with Stan, I said, what are the similarities between the two? He said they're both grumpy. And I said, what are the differences? He said, Stan's not grumpy in the offseason.
Wow.
I'm just the messenger on this one.
I hope TV puts on that extra 15 pounds. And it's not how he looks.
Oh.
Come on, if you're going to go at me, I'm coming back at you.
Austin for 3. And again, Austin cannot hit from outside. Magic 5 of 19 from 3-point range, just 26%.
And those were the same shots against Cleveland that were going in. It's a make or miss league. They've got to stick with it, not get frustrated until they start making.
Shot clock down to 6. Gasol against Lewis. Left-handed, blocked by Howard. His 3rd rejection.
These are the worst fast breaks I've ever seen run.
Howard, and there it is, his first dunk of these finals. It took him until the 3rd quarter of game 2.
I'm sorry, but you got 4 on 2. I don't care what guard has it. You got to be able to make the right decision and the right play. Center the ball in the middle of the floor and make a play.
Especially when you have a big man running the floor. It's an easy, fast break. They have to execute.
Lakers by 1. Fisher. Still dribbling. Keeps it alive nicely. Gasol. Shot clock at 7. Ariza on the drive. Way off the mark. And Howard with his 12th rebound.
Well, their defense has been outstanding.
Turkoglu back out to Petrus. Dangerous pass to Lewis. Ariza with the steal. Fisher, Ariza, touch pass to Bryant. There's a fast break. And the Magic want timeout. Trevor Ariza's defense once again leading to points for the Lakers.
Poor Orlando Magic offense, but give Trevor Ariza credit. Active hands off to the races, centers the basketball to the point guard, no charge, hands it off to Kobe Bryant. Outstanding job of running the fast break. Take notes, Orlando Magic.
Kobe Bryant had 40 in game 1. Quiet in the first half, but starting to come alive here in this 3rd quarter for the Lakers. He's got 8 points already in the period.
Well, Bryant senses that he has a size advantage over Courtney Lee. Lee, very good defense. Bryant just remarkably skilled. 2 jump shots and then the well-executed fast break off a Magic turnover.
A big ovation here at the Staples Center. They just put up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the big screen. Gets a nice ovation from the sold-out crowd.
Well-deserved, too. My 4 kids are at the game. My youngest one, as Kareem walked by, he said, "Who's that?" I put him on punishment tomorrow.
No, he should have been put immediately into timeout.
Lewis fakes, then sets, and misses badly. Fisher the rebound.
If you're as hot as Rashard Lewis, you're not hesitant on that three. You're shooting that three.
Bryant to the basket, puts it up, shot rolls off the rim. Boy, bodies flying all over the place, and they call a loose ball foul on Odom.
And I like how Orlando's competing. They just got to hit a run offensively, and they've got to get better guard play.
Hey, you think about it, if you're Stan Van Gundy down 3, and you really have missed shots all series long.
Howard. Back up top, Turkoglu. Good look. Knocks down the 3, and it's tied again.
Once again, Dwight Howard inside-outside attack. They're going to double team you, take the double team, and make the play.
Turkoglu coming alive. He's got 9 points in the period. Ball deflected by Jameer Nelson. Nelson back in the game.
Find a way to make your team better. Dwight Howard puts it on the floor. It's a setup. Take the double team on point to a rhythm shooter. Good job of running your offense.
Right, he did a great job of stepping through that double team, and Ariza has to seal that double team a lot harder.
Beatrice on Kobe Bryant. Howard high for the rebound. Number 13 on the boards for Howard. Nelson. And Fisher picks up his second. Lakers in the penalty. Jameer Nelson will shoot free throws. Log on to NBA.com now for the most extensive NBA Finals coverage and in-depth highlights of tonight's Magic Lakers matchup, along with up-to-date scores, stats, and schedules from the 2009 NBA Finals. NBA.com. The game happens here. Nelson will go to the line for the first time in 4 months. Didn't shoot free throws in game 1. As he gets that one. You know, all the talk about him coming back because he's now the backup point guard. Anthony Johnson, who was a terrific backup all season, is no longer in the rotation. But Nelson went to both Alston and Johnson before coming back to make sure it was okay with him. He's that kind of teammate.
Are you kidding me? I'm not asking those guys.
I think it's a nice gesture.
What is that about? What if they said no? You're not going to play in the finals?
Well, just let them know he's sensitive to their play.
Well, just say that. I'm sensitive to your play, but I'm better than you, so I'm playing.
Gasol on a switch inside, hacked by Howard as Howard picks up his second.
No, that's ultimate fake hustle. I mean, if you're Jameer Nelson, you don't. No, it's about winning. You have put yourself in a position to be back and to help your team win a championship. Is it okay for Rafe Alston and Anthony Johnson? Are you kidding me?
What, was this guy going to run for mayor of Orlando next? I mean, come on. One job at a time.
He's a popular guy. Maybe that's the reason why he has more sensitivity than you two. As Gasol hits the first free throw. Magic by 1. 3:07 remaining here in the third.
I'm just wondering, what if Anthony Johnson said, no, I'm not good with that?
Would have had no choice.
And I don't think he's good with it, actually. That's all right, Anthony. You've been in the finals twice. He's like, I can shoot straighter than those two guys right now.
Tied at 56, under 3 minutes remaining here in the third. Turkoglu, that's good from 3. Hedo Turkoglu with 12 points here in this third period. And the Orlando Magic, their largest lead of the game.
But I like what the Magic are doing on the offensive end. They are using Dwight Howard as a decoy. So he's getting his touches, and the Lakers are doing them a favor by double teaming, leaving shooters open.
Nelson, bad pass. Ariza with another steal.
And you're right, Mark. It's not always about scoring. It's about running good offense, and that's good offense, and it's going to get him more room as Odom knocks in another jumper. He keeps making him pay with those passes out of the post. He'll have more space to work with.
1 point Orlando lead coming up on 2 minutes remaining here in the third. Turkoglu, work top. Turkoglu fakes, drives, a floater. Tough shot, won't go. Gortat trying to keep it alive, but Bryant comes away. Kobe Bryant had a hot start to the third. Gasol. Howard may have gotten a piece of it. Odom keeps it alive. And a loose ball foul is going to go against Odom.
That's actually a great call. Lamar Odom, as he was falling down, grabbed arms of the Orlando Magic.
That's his third.
Chasing down a loose rebound, realizes he could not get it. Well, if I'm not going to get it, you guys are coming down with me.
Steve Javie right there on it. Meanwhile, Hedo Turkoglu starting to find the range, Jeff.
Well, again, good passes, and the important part is he's passing it on target so Turkoglu can shoot the ball in rhythm. Magic up 1.
Lead by 1. Having Phil Jackson to talk to his team during a recent timeout.
Get some traction when you're out there. You know, everything's been futile at the offensive end. All right, we got to get ourselves in the flow. The offense has to flow. They want up-tempo, and they just started moving the ball a little bit harder. We have to run with them. All right, make some shots. Let's go.
Well, make some shots. That's what Orlando is finally doing. Kobe Bryant did it to start the third, but Hedo Turkoglu has come alive. And boy, do they need him to play well if they have any hopes of winning this series. And Gortat will go to the line. Off the foul by Odom. Lakers been in the penalty. Marcin Gortat, the third player from Poland to play in an NBA game in his second year in the league. He's going to be a free agent. And he's done an excellent job this year as the backup center. He sent his hometown in Germany. Now they're actually wearing Orlando Magic jerseys. That's never happened before, he said, but the playoff run has them even excited back there in Soccer Town.
So they're not excited about him missing 2 free throws.
I wonder whose jersey they're wearing.
His jersey.
I'm thinking it's Dwight Howard.
We'll try and get an update on that for the next game. Bryant drills it. He's got 10 here in the third. Luke Walton now in on Turkoglu. Nelson bumped back out to Turkoglu. Howard wants it. Alley-oop to Howard and lays it in. Perfect pass from Turkoglu because Howard was actually guarded well.
And Pau Gasol upset with himself. Understands anytime Howard is on that block, you cannot allow the lob. They're looking to set that up. They get away with it.
Howard with 6 of his 10 in the period. Kobe Bryant misses. Turkoglu the rebound. Rebounding numbers critical for Orlando. +9 after getting really beaten badly in game 1 on that department. Nelson gets in. The floater. Pretty play from Jameer Nelson. And the Magic have a 3-point lead.
The Lakers force all the pick and rolls to the baseline. So when you can get over the top, you can get deep penetration like Jameer Nelson just did.
Fisher, good, wide open 3. Puts it in. Tied it in.
And it's Kobe Bryant offensively making plays. Dribble penetration, finding Fisher.
Shot clock and game clock nearly identical. Turkoglu gets around a couple of defenders off the dribble, knocks it down.
Shot it far too early.
Kobe Bryant, final seconds. Fires a 3. Just off the mark. And the Magic with 30 points, their highest scoring quarter so far through the first 7 periods of the finals. Hedo Turkoglu largely responsible. He had 17 of the 30. And while Kobe Bryant got it going as well, he had 10 points in that period. 3 quarters complete here in game 2.
Making plays on the offensive end. You love Turkoglu's dribble penetration. Outstanding quarter for the Magic.
Phil Jackson, they just had their highest scoring quarter. Hedo Turkoglu was very effective. How?
Well, we were doubling on the post a couple times, trying to help out Andrew to start with, and then Powell later on, and they stepped into the open threes.
Coach, you talked about getting a flow at the last time out on the offensive end. How do you trigger that?
Moving the ball. Got to move the ball a little better.
Thank you. Mike.
Moving the ball for the Orlando Magic has made a difference in their big 3, all with poor performances in game 1. But tonight, Lewis in the second quarter, Turkoglu in the third. Howard, now he only has 10 points, but he's got 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 3 block shots. He's starting to do a lot of everything.
Oh, he absolutely is. Doing a great job on the boards, also finding guys. This is when the Magic are at their best.
Shannon Brown getting his first appearance. Brown has played very well as a third point guard. Luke Walton is on Lewis. Here comes the help from Odom. Good triple team. Lewis gets it out. Nelson on the penetration. Drives inside and draws the foul. And he'll go to the line. If it's Tom Bynum. Nope, they call it on Shannon Brown. That would have been Bynum's 5th.
And to me, you can tell the importance of game 2 here. Dwight Howard, no rest at the start of the 4th quarter. Kobe Bryant, no rest at the start of the 4th quarter.
Now Nelson misses the free throw. We talked throughout game 1 while they were getting pummeled by 25. How the Orlando Magic, every time they get beat, they bounce back. Well, their worst performance of the playoffs prior to game 1, they lost in game 2 in Boston by 18. They came back and won game 3 by 21. They're a very, very resilient team. They don't get discouraged. They come back and attack, and that's what they've done here at the Staples Center in game 2 tonight. Odom the drive. Pretty move, Lamar Odom.
And how momentum changes. Gortat, 2 missed free throws. Then Nelson, 2 missed free throws. Who does stand play down the stretch as your point guard? Howard.
Bynum guarding him again with 4 fouls. Howard spinning. Blocked from behind. I think Bryant got a piece. Here comes Odom again. Alley-oop goes to Bynum but misses. Just over a minute gone by here in the 4th. And the Lakers take a 2-0 lead. Or the Magic get a huge road win and tie this series at a game apiece. Gortat wide open and not even close, but Howard gets it. As Odom just wrapped him up by his legs. Odom picks up his 4th foul. So some foul difficulties for the Lakers. Odom and Bynum each with 4. Turkoglu's going to return now for Orlando.
And see Dwight Howard on the post. Kobe Bryant converging, contesting a shot. Makes life tough for Dwight Howard, not allowing him to play one-on-one. Phil Jackson into the game plan.
To me, he's hand on that play to get some separation.
Turkoglu draws the foul. Nice smart play from Hedo Turkoglu. And he'll go to the line as Walton picks up his 3rd.
And I like the idea of Stan Van Gundy not playing 2 bigs right now. Gortat is a guy that's not knocking down shots. You need scoring on the floor.
They're 12 of 18 from the free throw line. Make it 12 of 19. Fans, polls still open for tonight's Finals Player of the Game voting, presented by T-Mobile. Text the last name of your choice for Player of the Game to 69622. From any wireless phone now, voting closes at the end of the game. Magic have now missed 5 straight free throws until Turkoglu hits that one.
And that's the difference between being in a 1-point game and having a little cushion for the inevitable Kobe Bryant run.
Odom inside, flips it up and in. Oh, tough shot from Odom. He's 6 of 7 from the field. This game has been close throughout. Largest lead by either team is 7. Gortat, nice feed inside from Lewis. And Gortat with his first field goal.
And that's how you run the pick and roll to perfection. The guy coming off the screen is not your job to make the home run play. The extra pass.
Bryant has Pietrus on him. Bryant 7 of 15 from the field. Walton, dangerous pass, knocked away by Nelson. Odom gets it back and puts it up and in. Lamar Odom emerging with big plays here in the second half.
Well, the way Lamar Odom is playing, I'm going to start eating more candy.
Lewis drives inside. The runner, tough shot, won't go. Bryant the rebound. Odom's got that sweet tooth. The recent feature on him showed how much candy he eats before, during, and after the game. Bryant won't go for the foul. And Pietrus picks up his 4th.
Just making plays. When he's aggressive, looking to make plays on the offensive end, confident and comfortable, does a good job of not waiting to get the ball to Kobe Bryant, but he feels like, hey, I'm going to make a play offensively. That's when he completes them as a team.
Kobe Bryant the other day saying, I want it so bad, getting that 4th championship as he gets the free throw. Phil Jackson saying he's been very quiet. Well, maybe he's quiet around the locker room, but we've seen him during the game, non-stop talking during his teammates. He's like an extra coach. He's got 6 assists, 4 rebounds to go with those 17 points. A rare smile on the bench.
I'd smile too if I had Kobe on my team.
Lakers back up by 3. Pass inside, gets to Gortat. Gortat can't finish. The length of Bynum altering that shot.
And that's doing multiple things. Bynum stopping the pick and roll and not giving up on the play, getting back.
Bryant expecting Brown to be in the corner. He says, stay there. Brown was going to the basket to try and get an offensive rebound.
Don't point the finger, Kobe. That one's on you, buddy.
And then game 4, also on Thursday. Magic trying to make sure a game 5 will be definite after tonight. That game will start earlier at 8 Eastern. 2-3-2 format. Meanwhile, Lamar Odom getting it done for the Lakers here in the 4th.
Phil Jackson thinking, you play this way, eat all the junk food you want. Good job of putting it on the floor. Aggressive, active. Talking about the complete player when he plays with confidence. Who could make the sunshine? Certainly the Candyman can.
Well, I like the nickname, longtime PR man of the Lakers, John Black. He calls him the human Swiss Army knife. He can do a little bit of everything, and he has been just terrific in the last 3+ games for these playoffs. And a foul down low. This one's going to go against Bynum. That's 5 on Bynum.
Again, I say, I'm not sure that's a good thing for Orlando because here comes Lamar Odom.
We could have a first time ever where an opposing coach says, that's not a foul. Let him play through that. Wanting Andrew Bynum to stay on the floor because of the damage that Lamar Odom is doing.
And a very unusual lineup for Orlando. No true point guard on the floor. J.J. Redick at the point to try to get some more shooting. Turkoglu handling the ball.
Shot clock winding down. Turkoglu way off the mark. Lewis keeps it alive. When Nelson went out with the injury, Turkoglu often did that in the 4th quarter. He is a playmaker. The guy at 6'10" that can handle the ball. J.J. Redick 0 for 5 in the first half. They'd love to see him get on track a bit. Howard out to Redick. Shot clock at 7. Redick kicks it out. Lewis pulls up. Shot's good. Rashard Lewis able to knock it down. Just his 2nd field goal of the second half.
I like what Redick did. Don't fall in love with the jumper. Put the ball on the floor and look to make a play. Good job of being aggressive off the catch, off of Howard's outside pass.
And I agree with that. I think, again, he still has got to look more to the basket because they're not coming on his drive.
1-point Laker lead. Beatrice does a good job keeping Bryant in front of him. Shot clock at 2. Odom has to put it up, and he puts it in. Lamar Odom, 8 points here in the 4th quarter. Chance of defense. They want to get it to Howard. Here comes the double team. Howard blocked for the foul. And the crowd reacts. But Howard will go to the free throw line. He's only been there. This will be his 5th and 6th free throw attempts. That after 16 in game 1.
Well, I thought they had him earlier in the possession. They missed him. Howard faces up and drives it all the way across the lane. I thought that's a good play by Pau Gasol on the block.
I'm slicing up a tape and I'm showing it the next practice. There's been 10 times tonight where Dwight Howard has been open, ready to catch the basketball in the paint, and his perimeter guys have not been able to deliver the pass.
Well, they're not a good passing team. They have very limited passers, and it really hinders you when a team like LA plays with such length and are playing very, very hard as well.
Howard, 2 clutch free throws there. He's 4 of 6 here tonight. Magic down by 1. Down 1-0 in the series. Kobe Bryant on the pull-up. 20 for Kobe Bryant.
and that's by design. If you're Dwight Howard, you have to be closer to Bryant coming off that screen.
Ariza on Turkoglu. Turkoglu finally started to get it going in the third quarter. Falling away. High banker bounces around and drops in. I don't know if Howard tipped it. I don't think so.
But Turkoglu did a little bit of what Kobe Bryant did last game. Comes off the screen and then veers back into the path of his defender so that Howard can get a roll to the rim.
Bryant, hard screen set as Beatrice got whacked by Gasol.
The difference that time, Howard was there ready for Bryant.
Bryant gets away and he stepped out of bounds. That will not count.
That's the best turnover I've ever seen. Did you just see what that guy did? Dribbled out of bounds, balanced himself, and made a corner three. That should be on the highlights. That's top 10.
Instead, it's the 10th turnover for the Lakers, 13 for the Magic. Lewis fires a three. That's good. That's his 5th three-pointer of the game, and the Magic go up by 2, causing Phil Jackson to call timeout. 27 now for Rashard Lewis.
You're not missing anything, not having a point guard on the floor, especially when Turkoglu is a guy that you trust to make plays. Pick and roll finds Lewis. Gotcha. Excellent offense from the Magic.
And they finally exploded with 30 points in the third quarter. Lewis in the second, Turkoglu in the third. Kobe Bryant had a quiet start, starting to heat up. But you see the difference in Orlando shooting. They're finally getting shots to go down. Jeff, you talk about it all the time. Make or miss league. They're making them in the second half.
Well, and their passing has been good. It's been on target. It's led them into good opportunities. And I think it's really centered around Turkoglu and Dwight Howard passing the ball very well.
And you can't underestimate the impact J.J. Redick on the floor. His presence, he's a shooter that you've got to be respected.
Bryant, nice fake, getting rid of Petrus. Pass deflected by Howard. Ball still loose, knocked off out of bounds, and it's going to be Magic ball. Dwight Howard, good play there to deflect that pass.
Well, more so careless play by Bryant. Had a foul line jump shot, turned it down. That's actually a 6th turnover in the ball game.
Just past the midway point of the fourth. Orlando once again has bounced back after a bad performance. Can they finish it out? His pass, Turkoglu's deflected. Bryant looking, driving, shooting. Ariza gets it, tried to force it up there, knocked around, ball still loose. Odom comes up with a loose ball. Fisher on the drive to the basket, banks it in. The veteran Fisher ties the game. Turkoglu again, he's the playmaker. Lewis. And a reach-in foul on Odom. Odom very upset. That's his 5th personal.
And if you're the Lakers, no way in the world you could be upset with this play. This is part of the way that Kobe Bryant makes a living. We've seen him do this time and time again. That's just a smart play by Rashard Lewis.
Lewis still arguing, but he clearly fouled him. Well, Odom's still arguing, excuse me. Lewis back to the line. 27 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists for Rashard Lewis. Free throws are going to be enormous down the stretch.
It's amazing how many times NBA players complain and are dead wrong.
Right.
The percentage is like so high. If they say it, it's usually wrong.
Ariza knocked away. Howard the rebound. And here's Turkoglu. After Lewis, an open three. Fight for the rebound, and a loose ball foul is going to go down the other end. Dwight Howard picks up his 3rd. 2nd team foul for Orlando.
I tell you what, if I'm Stan Van Gundy, I don't mind the way that we're playing right now. You get stops, you push the ball, you attack the offensive boards. Good things will happen if you continue to play this way.
I didn't see anything on that rebound. But I agree with you, Mark. That's a good possession. Play fast.
Boy, that's a tough shot. Howard defended him beautifully.
But that's the skill of Gasol. He can shoot it, he can drive it, he can pass it, he can catch it.
Another solid game for Pau Gasol, 15 and 8. Howard down the other end. Lost it, and they call a foul on Gasol. Now that one almost looked like Howard lost the ball.
Well, it's actually not on Gasol. Trevor Ariza on the slap down, so the correct call was made. You know, you're right, Mike. Pau Gasol is straight up, but Trevor Ariza looking to double team gets the arm of Dwight Howard.
It's amazing how many Academy Award-winning actors are wrong about Paul.
See, Jack, vertical?
Howard back to the line. 12 points, 16 rebounds. Crowd trying to distract him, and he rolls around. Here's the reaction from Laker fan number 1.
Jack had better hops in his youth, but I love his passion.
.413 remaining. Clutch free throws from Dwight Howard. Stan Van Gundy was talking just yesterday about how impressed he is. Howard, even throughout these playoffs, has really been working on his free throws. They've now made 7 straight after they had missed 5 in a row. Bryant, back out Fisher. Fisher for 3. And Turkoglu the rebound.
I don't like that double by J.J. Redick. I thought that was a poor defensive decision.
Fisher's hit so many big shots in his position. Howard, here comes the double team. Bad pass stolen by Ariza. Trevor Ariza, another steal. That's 3. Bryant the drive, blocked by Howard, but a foul. The foul's going to be on Petrus as Kobe Bryant gets knocked down. Five on Petrus.
Well, again, when Bryant has the ball in the perimeter, he's going to drive it hard. Good help by Dwight Howard. I couldn't see on the angle if there was a foul. That's not a foul on Petrus. I think that's a tough call.
Bryant actually missed a free throw earlier. This is one there. He's been so good, 90% from the line in the playoffs, as we said earlier.
Tough play of your Petrus. You've done your job, and the help has also done their job behind you. Bryant goes to the line now.
It's 1 of 2, 1-point game.
I like the idea of going inside to Dwight Howard. The Lakers already committed to double teaming, finding a shooter on the floor. It should be an inside-outside attack for the Magic.
Turkoglu to Lewis. Howard looking, he's been patient. Turkoglu steps back, now drives, steps back, falling away. Offensive foul. Leaned in as Trevor Ariza drew the charge.
You got to trust your game. In that situation, Howard passes out. Turkoglu step into a shot. You've been doing it all season long. It's too late to turn down wide open shots. You had Ariza on his heels. You turn it down, you're forced into a turnover.
Not a lot. The right hand extending a bit. Not a lot of contact. But Trevor Ariza's made so many big defensive plays. Bryant jump shot. He's fouled. And Petrus is fouled out in 24 minutes. And that hurts because he does a solid job defensively. Markel Petrus, only 2 points.
My question is, who are you putting in? Are you putting in a smaller point guard? Are you putting in Courtney Lee? Or you're going to have to double Bryant?
Well, if I was Stan Van Gundy coaching the Magic right now, Courtney Lee would be the guy that I would go to. You need the size. You also need the spacing of the floor on the offensive end.
You were Stan Van Gundy. He'd be your brother. Imagine that.
I take that back.
Why? I played nice when I was a kid growing up. Stan always got to be Batman. I was Robin. Come on. I knew my role.
The guy is Courtney Lee, Jeff, as he comes in, the rookie. He's had some really good moments in the playoffs. A very poised rookie, played 4 years of college ball at Western Kentucky. Got into the starting lineup second half of the season and has been in there ever since.
And the problem, though, is the size factor. So now, even if a double team comes, Bryant can get off a quality shot. And it's going to open them up on second shots. I would be very tempted to put Courtney Lee on Ariza and Turkoglu or Rashard Lewis on Bryant.
Meanwhile, Petrus the only Magic player in foul trouble. Odom has 5 and Bynum 5 for the Lakers.
And actually, just yesterday, Turkoglu was a guy that told us, I'd like to have the challenge of defending Kobe Bryant. Be careful what you ask for.
1-point Laker lead under 3 minutes remaining. The game that's had 19 lead changes. J.J. Redick looking for Howard. Good defense from Gasol. Howard lost it. Here comes Fisher. Fisher on the drive. Stripped by Redick. Knocked out of bounds. And we'll have a timeout. The Orlando Magic desperate for a road win to tie this NBA Finals up at 1 apiece. Dwight Howard playing much better. Lamar Odom, another strong game. Lewis has been sensational. And the closer ready to close. It's a 1-point Laker lead. 2 of the NBA Finals hanging in the balance. Right now, Lakers by 1. Magic turned it around, but will it result in a victory? Phil Jackson talking to his team at a recent huddle to try and prevent it.
Now, let's start getting this stuff together now. Too many things have happened. Little fouls. We're in the penalty. Second chance rebounds. We're not getting the ball back. We got to start making things happen for us before it gets too late.
Well, the man that makes things happen, usually Kobe Bryant. But Lamar Odom and Trevor Ariza have made big plays, as is Gasol. And Turkoglu called for the foul. Now they're in the penalty. Bryant stays down longer. It's just a little bit of a rest. One bounces up.
One thing
he's banged up a little bit more.
But one thing you can't do to close out ball games when you're trying to get stops. You can't allow offensive teams. You can't let them off the hook. By fouling players, you're giving them 3 points.
He just fell down.
Yeah, it didn't look like much of a push, more maybe tripped up, and he's going to go back to the line where he is 6 of 8.
Well, you're absolutely right about that.
He's gotten the benefit, and it happens. When they're like on that drive with Pietrus, a little bit in for the doubt. It happens. You got to play through it. You can't let it be frustrating.
Pietrus is fouled out. Now the rookie Courtney Lee came in. Turkoglu guarding him on that play. Lakers by 3, 2:40 to play. Largest lead in the fourth quarter has been 3. Largest lead of the second half, 5. This has been a close one.
See, Rashard Lewis right there, you have an advantage. You got to make a play. Drive it to the rim. Don't let him double team.
Good passing, Redick for 3. J.J. Redick ties the game with 2:19 remaining. His first field goal of the night.
That's why you keep a shooter in the ball game. Hot or cold, he's still a shooter. Trust his game, and J.J. Redick rewards his coach.
Their 9th three-pointer. All even at 84, 2 minutes remaining. Bryant on the drive on Turkoglu, falling away. Won't go. Rebound, Lewis. Bryant thought he got fouled that time. Good defense from Turkoglu.
If you're Turkoglu, you have to get the basketball.
Turkoglu. Lewis trying to post up Ariza. Here comes Gasol to help. Lewis spinning. He's tied up. Leans in and banks it in. What a shot from Rashard Lewis. And the Magic regain the lead. 31 for Lewis.
And they're going to go Bryant, Gasol, pick and roll. You got to make sure right now Bryant's a passer.
Turkoglu on Bryant. Turkoglu close to the foul. He's got to be careful there. Shot clock at 6. Bryant on the drive. The runner looks to bank it. Does. Ties the game.
And Dwight Howard on that has to help and make Bryant kick that out to Gasol.
Coming up on a minute remaining. Turkoglu. Ariza trying to slap it away. Turkoglu sees the shot clock down to 6. Turkoglu tied up. Turkoglu looking. Turkoglu pulls up, puts it up, knocks it down. A two-pointer for Turkoglu. And the Magic back up by 2. 47.7 seconds remaining. And the Staples Center just went very quiet. Clutch shots from both teams right now. The latest from Hedo Turkoglu.
Well, the Lakers did an outstanding job in defending this whole possession, but Turkoglu's size is a factor. A good step back, got separation, right foot on the three-point line. Almost stepped out of bounds. Big-time shot by Hedo Turkoglu.
47.7 seconds remaining. There you see both teams with multiple timeouts, neither with a foul to give. Right now, Orlando leading by 2 as they try and tie this series up at 1 game apiece. Game 1 was one of the worst shooting performances in finals history for the Magic. But we've said all along, they're one of the more resilient teams we've seen in the postseason in years. They fought back from several crushing last-second defeats to come back with a victory. They've had huge road wins. Beat the Celtics Game 7 in Boston. Beat Philadelphia Game 6 in Philadelphia without Dwight Howard. And also beat Cleveland in Game 1 to set the tone of that series. So many big road wins. Can they do it again here tonight?
Well, it's a 2-for-1 right here. And they're going to attack early in the clock.
And there's no way if I'm Stan Van Gundy, I'm going to let Kobe Bryant play one-on-one.
Bryant kicks it out to Fisher. Fisher fakes. Fisher drives. Pass deflected by Howard. Gets to Gasol, and he lays it in to tie it up with 33.5 seconds left.
But I thought that was good defense. Got a deflection that randomly went to Gasol. Good play by Gasol to finish.
Turkoglu with a reason on him. Again, the Lakers do not have a foul to give. Any foul puts you on the free throw line. There's a lot of contact there. Turkoglu looking. Finding Courtney Lee, the rookie with Bryant on him. Shot clock down to 5. Lee makes his move. Lee to the basket. Puts it up. Won't go. Rebound Odom with 9.5 seconds to go. Calls timeout. The rookie went to the basket but couldn't get it to go down.
Well, here's the not having a point guard on the floor. You like the move by Courtney Lee. But if your ball has to either be in your hands or Dwight Howard's hands.
9 seconds remaining. Laker ball when we come back.
Well, coming out of the timeout, LA went to Gasol Bryant pick and roll. Well defended. Good drive by Fisher. Deflected by Howard. That is how close it is between winning and losing.
That one tied the game at 88. And Orlando went down the other end. Courtney Lee couldn't get his shot to go. Lakers with good defense. And now you see Lakers down to their final timeout with 9.1 remaining. We certainly expect the ball to go to Kobe Bryant's hands, correct?
And they're taking it out full court. To me, if I'm Orlando, I am trapping Bryant as soon as I can.
The Magic do not have a foul to give. Here comes Odom. Odom brings it up. Odom back out to Bryant. Bryant looking. Bryant driving. Bryant blocked from behind by Turkoglu. And the Magic try and call timeout. The buzzer sounds, but they'll put some time back on the clock. It depends on how many seconds. Hedo Turkoglu recovers beautifully and makes the defensive play as Bryant's very upset. Now the key, how many seconds will they put back up on the clock?
You wanted the opportunity to play Bryant one-on-one. I love the fact that Turkoglu did not give up on the play. Got beat in penetration, got back to the body of Kobe Bryant, contests the shot, comes up with a big-time shot of Bryant attempt.
And now Steve Javie will go on an instant replay. We'll check to see when the player, now let's watch. There you see the time. The block. Recovery timeout. Maybe like
8/10
at the most.
That's just great defense, though, by Turkoglu. How many guys give up on that play and say, Dwight Howard, bail me out? He got back into the picture and blocked the shot of Bryant.
All right, so Steve Javie has the headset on. He's looking at the replay. Here, again, You have to see when Turkoglu gains possession, calls timeout. Newman time to call the time. Blows his whistle right there. Well, maybe like 5 or 6 tenths. That's plenty of time to catch and shoot. You can catch and shoot at 3 tenths. Will advance the ball to the front court. And there's where instant replay is so important for the officials to be able to look at it. Boy, Turkoglu, just terrific recovery. Ball started with about, I think, Jeff.
Well, and for Orlando coming down as we see the block again, it's so vital that you don't throw the ball in unless a guy's wide open. You've got plenty of timeouts to burn. There's no need to throw it in to throw a desperation shot at.
So they're going to make it 6 tenths to go on the clock. And again, that's plenty of time to get off the shot. We've seen these finals with a couple of unbelievable buzzer beaters. Of course, the Magic certainly remember Game 2 against Cleveland. LeBron James able to put it in. And the key now for Orlando is that they still have 2 timeouts remaining. So if they have trouble getting it in where they want, they can call another timeout.
Well, actually, during the course of the season, I don't know if you recall, Coach, but the Orlando Magic actually beat, I believe it was the San Antonio Spurs with an out-of-bounds play, lob pass to Dwight Howard. So they do have that in their repertoire.
All right, they've got a couple of guys who are obviously good three-point shooters. We had Hedo Turkoglu and Rashard Lewis. Both have broken out of their mini slumps with big games. Who do you go to in this point?
Who's ever open. You're just trying to get an open shot. Most teams will switch, so you're trying to cause some confusion in their switching defense.
Now, will we see Lamar Odom guard the inbounds pass? He did such a sensational job in the Denver series to force some bad passes from the Nuggets.
Well, if it continues to work, you continue to do it. But one thing I look to see is Dwight Howard slash to the hoop, surround the floor with shooters. The Orlando Magic can get a good look. It's about executing.
There's also the possibility of the alley-oop.
And Lamar Odom is going to be on the inbounder.
You know, Coach, but the size of Turkoglu makes Lamar Odom's limp not that much of a factor.
Gasol was out there on Howard. Ariza on Lewis. And Bryant on Courtney Lee. 6/10 of a second. You can catch and shoot easily in that time. Tie game. They look and see what they have. And they call another timeout. A 20-second timeout. The Lakers denied on that attempt.
Talk about Turkoglu. He plays Kobe one-on-one and says he don't. Good job of getting back in the picture and blocking the shot of Bryant.
6/10 of a second remaining. Turkoglu will inbound. Odom right up on the inbounds pass. 6/10 of a second remaining. Alley-oop to Lee. Lee won't go, and we go to overtime. Boy, you couldn't ask for a better shot opportunity.
Wow. What a great play coming out of the timeout. Courtney Lee discusses it with Turkoglu before he even inbounds the basketball. Outstanding screen, outstanding execution. Courtney Lee just not able to finish it. This is a good screen by Rashard Lewis. No communication by the Lakers. Courtney Lee, the lob misses the layup. But a great job by Stan Van Gundy. Out.
Howard put it in, but obviously sounded. A good opportunity. The rookie Lee had that drive to the basket that wouldn't go, and that one right there. Gasol did a good job of contesting it, but it wasn't to be. These Magic 4 minutes to try and get this road win.
I'll tell you what's important. Watching the Magic come out of the huddle, guys talking to Courtney Lee. Forget about it, young fella. We have 5 more minutes to play a basketball. Let that play go.
The young fella has to play. Michael Petras, who's been guarding Kobe Bryant a lot in the series, has fouled out. J.J. Redick hit a big 3 at the end of the fourth quarter. Howard against Gasol, spinning, goes up, stripped to the ball again. That's happened several times tonight.
And if you're Dwight Howard, recognize that Derek Fisher is leaving J.J. Redick wide open. Continue to set him up and make the passes that you've made all game long.
Gasol, single coverage on Howard. Bryant fakes the 3. Shot clock at 7. Shot clock at 2. Bryant puts it up. Off the mark, won't go. Lewis the rebound. Lewis has had a huge game. 31 points, now 10 rebounds. Redick looking, bounces it off Howard. Turkoglu on the drive. Shuffles it out, out of bounds, off of Turkoglu's leg. He wanted a foul call. And Rafer Alston will re-enter the game. Nope, he didn't get there in time. Well, it did go off Turkoglu, but he felt he got hit. Alston's been sitting for quite some time. But Jeff Van Gundy needs a ball handler out there. Turkoglu maybe getting a bit tired.
Well, the Stan Van Gundy.
Just a matter of time before I said that. Odom. Ariza up top to Fisher. Shot clock winding down. Fisher inside to Gasol. And Gasol is fouled.
And Fisher's doing a really good job driving the ball. But I'm not so sure he's driving to score. I would fake at him and try to take away the dish to Gasol. He's just trying to draw Dwight Howard. To me, that's a cover. Fisher, good catch in tight quarters.
Gasol hits the free throw. 78% free throw shooter during the regular season. Only 70% during the playoffs.
And you think the reason Stan Van Gundy decides to get Rafer Alston in the ball game, wants to run offense, having a tough time getting into their sets, goes with a traditional point guard looking to run their offense.
Two big free throws there. Lakers have been shooting free throws extremely well the last several games.
And trying to maybe get more pace into it if they get a defensive rebound.
Ariza right up on Turkoglu again. Ariza fighting over the screens. Turkoglu looking, lobs it into Howard. Howard up, shot, it's good, and a foul. That time Howard finishes and a chance for a three-point play.
And Mike, a big key, and Mark, going back to your point, is why do you insert him? So Turkoglu can run a pick and roll off a live ball versus having to dribble it up the court. Now he draws Gasol out. Good entry. Hey, and that's a good job by Howard of catching it and being stronger with the ball with Bryant around it.
Howard has hit his free throws tonight for the most part. You see the numbers, 6 of 8. Knocks that one down, and Orlando back up by 1. 21st lead change. Again, this game has not been, in terms of a margin, more than 3 from the fourth quarter on. So close as Bryant drives on Turkoglu. Odom goes right back to him. Turkoglu at 6'10" has length. Bryant, one dribble, kicks it out. Ariza for 3. Won't go. Turkoglu the rebound.
I like that closeout by J.J. Redick.
Lewis kicks it out. Redick, wide open 3. Off the mark. And Gasol, the rebound is nice.
That's a good find by Rashard Lewis making the play. J.J. Redick had a wide open look.
Magic by 1 with 2.5 remaining in OT. Most of the crowd on their feet here at Staples Center. Bryant, jab step, drive, puts it up, shot's good. Tough shot, the Lakers back up by 1.
Oh, Turkoglu is doing a very good job of making Bryant work. Those are tough shots.
Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. Lewis to Redick. Redick hesitant. Now on the drive, bounce pass, bad one, stolen by Fisher. Here comes Fisher. Fisher goes right at Turkoglu and draws the foul. Smart play from the veteran. He could see that pass coming and then goes down the other end and draws the foul. 5 on Turkoglu.
Well, again, J.J. Redick, when he's driving the ball, has got to drive to score. There's no one there. Shoot the ball. And then coming back the other way, Derek Fisher's not even thinking about making the shot. He's just thinking about drawing contact and working himself to the free throw line.
Derek Fisher, the other Laker, looking for his 4th championship ring.
And here's what the difference between the good ones and the great ones. Able to take the contact down the stretch. That's good defense, but better offense. Uses the body to get a little bit of airspace and then floats away from the contest.
Fisher gets the second one to go. One of the better free throw shooters in the NBA, and the Lakers lead by 3. Lewis. Hands off Turkoglu. Right back to Lewis. They want to get it to Howard. Shot clock down to 7. Lewis back up top. Turkoglu, tough shot, falling away. In and out. That one halfway down before Gasol gets the rebound. Orlando over the limit right now, so any foul puts LA at the free throw line. Bryant looks inside, finds Gasol. Gasol, count it, and a foul as the Lakers go up by 5.
And it's Bryant making plays. High pick and roll with Gasol. Looks like he's looking to score. Good job of delivering the pass. Trusting your receiver. Pau Gasol once again with those great hands to catch and to finish.
Kobe Bryant had 8 assists in game 1. He's got 8 more assists here in game 2. And that last one enables the Lakers to take a 6-point lead. It's the largest lead of the second half. And certainly here in overtime. Lakers trying to take a 7-0 run here. Orlando ball when we return. 1:14 remaining overtime. Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Lakers now with a 6-point lead. There you see again multiple timeouts remaining. Lakers still have a foul to give. Still plenty of time, Jeff, for Orlando to try and get this. They don't have to start jacking up threes by any stretch.
No, they've just got to get a good look. And it's harder now because Lamar Odom has made it very difficult for Rashard Lewis.
Orlando has 3 costly turnovers here in this overtime, and a foul called on Ariza. A little over aggressive fighting through the screen. That's his 3rd, and that was their 1 foul to give. So Orlando will inbound. Next one will put the Magic at the free throw line. Turkoglu. Lewis trying to fight through. Redick on the drive. Redick inside. Kicks it back out to Lewis. Back to Redick. Shot clock at 8. Redick on the drive. Strong to the goal, and he banks it in. And it's a 4-point game.
But that's the difference. Exactly what Coach was talking about. Put his head down and look to be a scorer. Not for somebody to bail him out.
Under a minute remaining in overtime. Bryant to the basket. Stripped by Turkoglu. Magic ball. Kobe Bryant can't believe the call. Turkoglu with another good defensive play.
But you watch the Orlando Magic looking to double team. Rashard Lewis looks to double team. Good job by Turkoglu once again. Now play. Certainly didn't look like it went off the leg of Bryant, but Magic have the basketball.
38 seconds remaining. Right back into Turkoglu's hands. Redick. Lewis launches a 3. In and out. Again, another one halfway down. And then a loose ball foul. Dwight Howard arguing the call as he picks up his 4th. Well, that's a couple of shots for the Magic. Those rattled in and out.
Again, good execution, good look. Well, like you said, rattles in and out. It's the difference between winning and losing.
And now free throws for Pau Gasol.
The drive and kick. Rashard Lewis steps in. Gets a good look. Just not able to finish.
Lakers from the free throw line, 21 of 25. That's 84%. Lead back up to 5. Every free throw critical. Stan Van Gundy calls timeout. A 20-second timeout. 99-93 in overtime. Orlando will have it when we come back. 28.2 seconds remaining in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Orlando Magic forcing the overtime, but right now down by 6. It's their ball with 28.2 remaining. Then you see timeouts left. They are down to 1. So now at this point, guys, do you have to start thinking about putting up threes on this possession?
I think you do. I think you have to drive the ball to the rim, hopefully collapse the defense, but definitely looking for the three-point shot.
Absolutely. It's about scoring the basketball and scoring quickly, and then you want to pick up looking to steal the basketball first and then commit fouls.
It's been a great turnaround performance for the Magic after getting blown out in Game 1 by 25. They forced overtime, had a chance to win it at the buzzer, but will they fall short and have another gut-wrenching defeat? They've had their share of them here in this postseason. Alston looking. Turkoglu comes up top. They don't get it to him. Lewis launches it up. That's good. A three-pointer for Lewis. And that makes it a three-point game. They're going to review it, though. The initial signal on the floor was it was a three-pointer.
Again, very good execution by Orlando out of a timeout.
Lewis has hit some big three-pointers in this playoffs. But so is shielding the right foot to see if the right toe is on. Two officials both signaled three.
This should tell you right here, Mike.
I can't tell on that one. So close. Gets behind. Initially, again, I don't know if that right toe inched closer, but when he made the pivot, like it was just behind the line, and it should be a three-pointer.
Well, to me, it looked like a three-pointer. That's a tough shot. That first, the right foot did a good job of setting and knocking down the shot.
And if they can't tell, they have to go what they called on the floor. And what they called on the floor was a three.
Right. For them to change it, they've got to see it now. If it is a three and stands, and most likely it will, it's a three-point game. Now some strategy. Do the Magic foul? There's a 2.2 difference shot clock and game clock.
They absolutely need to foul.
All right. This is blown up a bit, so I have a better chance to... We'll get to look at it hopefully in a second. Officials continue to look at it.
2.2 seconds is not enough of a difference because if you shoot it as the shot clock expires and the ball isn't cleanly rebounded, you may not get a rebound, a timeout, and then the ability to get the last shot up.
So the players waiting for the ruling. Steve Javie continues to look. We've got on one of our ISO areas, and it looks like the foot's behind. Now by that, I mean, it's awfully close.
And
you
actually,
can see a little white in front between his sneaker and the blue line.
And actually, that's the same monitor that the referees were taking a look at. They declared that it's actually a three-pointer.
And, some people say, well, the instant replay slows the game down. No, instant replay is good in limited circumstances. Give the NBA a lot of credit for instituting it. And I like this double team of Bryant.
Lewis and Lee on him.
And it's important in this situation to look to go for the steal. Don't just bail him out and foul him. Look to come up with a steal.
Or try and force an 8-second backcourt violation. Again, the Magic do not have any fouls to give, and they're down to one timeout as they trail by 3 here in overtime.
If I couldn't get it in, I'd want that ball going back to Lamar Odom. He has had opportunities where he has not converted.
Now, they've got to change the substitution.
They can't substitute on a made basket just because there was a stoppage in play.
So Lee's going to have to come out. Turkoglu will go back in. Normally you can't, but they stopped play because of the instant replay. Odom looking. Good ball denial on Bryant. They get it to Fisher. Fisher in the backcourt. Throws it ahead to Odom. And Odom fouled by Redick. That's good execution there by the Orlando Magic. Odom is not a great free throw shooter.
Absolutely. How many teams do we see panic initially and foul Derek Fisher in that situation? An excellent free throw shooter, a proven guy. Wait until he gives up the basketball and they foul him all.
He's 59% from the line in the playoffs. He's had another terrific game, but he's not been a strong free throw shooter. Clutch right there for Lamar Odom.
And if you're J.J. Redick, you've got to block Kobe Bryant out so he doesn't get on the run for a second shot. This free throw rebound is important, particularly if there's a back tap situation.
Lakers have now hit 14 straight free throws. They lead by 5. Austin pushing it up. Redick catches. Redick on the drive. Redick pulls back, puts up the three. Won't go. Rebound Lewis. Lewis brings it back out. Lewis forces it up. That's off the mark. Ariza the rebound, and that'll do it. The Lakers survive and win game 2 in overtime. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers take a 2-0 lead in this NBA Finals. They were extended right to the very end as Dwight Howard on the Magic. A terrific comeback, but not enough. And they'll head home to Orlando after a very difficult loss, but they, as we said earlier, have had their share of tough losses. A much better performance. Rashard Lewis, Hedo Turkoglu finally got their shooting going. They had their chance to win it at the end of regulation. Couldn't get it to go down. And the Lakers took advantage. Kobe Bryant, 29 more points, 8 more assists. He's with Doris.
Kobe, a year ago you guys failed in this exact stage. How much did the experience you gained there help you close a tough game out?
Well, it was good. You know, it was the first close game we've had in about 3 games. And the last one was a tough one in Denver. So, you know, we learned from that. We know how to play, in close games. And we did a good job down the stretch.
You made a lot of free throws down the stretch, 14 straight, but it was the most experienced players, Lamar and Derek and yourself and Pau, who made the difference. Why?
Well, they were helping, and so we did a good job spacing, and they did a great job in converting plays. But I felt like defensively we did a much better job. We blew a lot of assignments tonight, and we still managed to get a win.
There was a play late where you went to Pau Gasol. What were you thinking on that option?
Well, I was just waiting to see what Dwight was going to do. Was he going to come to me and let me, score the ball? Or was he, you're going to stay with Pau, let me score, come to me and free up Pau? And he did the latter, and Pau got a big and one.
The series shifts to Orlando now. You guys have been criticized in the past when you get up 2-0 of having a letdown. How do you prohibit that?
No, it's no letdown. If they won't beat us, they're going to beat us. We're in the finals. We're ready to go.
If Hedo and Rashard continue to make shots, what are the keys on the other guys?
Well, you got to close out closer to them. These guys, shots that you think are tough shots are easy for them. So you got to be literally in their jerseys when they shoot the basketball because they'll shoot it right in your face to make it.
Kobe, congratulations. Good luck in Orlando. Mike?
All right, Doris, that's 4 straight wins now by the Lakers. Last 2 in Denver. And the first 2 against Orlando. Tonight's finals player of the game presented by T-Mobile. Kobe Bryant, 29, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. He had help again. Mentioned Pau Gasol, 24 and 10 for Pau Gasol. As Kobe Bryant and the Lakers 2 wins away from another